Hey everyone, welcome to July 28th Riaz live stream. I'm happy to be here, just getting some couple things set up for us in advance so that we don't have to fumble around a lot, which to start with is going to be a Zoom link. So obviously we do this live stream and love to be able to help you one-on-one in your business. And we also do cover training topics from time to time, but for now I feel like one-on-one is going to help a lot, especially with getting started right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post in at the top of the comment section I'm sorry, I just saw a comment come through from Brandon. That was funny. Anyway, I'm going to pin a comment at the top of the comment section, and that is the Zoom link live to join us live, I should say. And I've got my headset ready to go over here. Phone's off, everything's or on silent, everything's good. So looking forward to helping you guys with your business and whatever it is you need help with. And yeah, I guess we'll start with that. Looks like Brandon's on. Hold on, Brandon, let me get my headset on. Can you hear me okay?
Oh,
Can you hear me okay, bud?
there's a bit of a lag here, I think.
Bit of a lag.
Yeah. Oh, wait, there, now it's coming through.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
I can. Crystal clear, dude.
Sweet. Okay.
All
I had
right.
to like completely close out the Facebook thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was
No,
like
there's
double.
yeah, there's about a 20 to 30-second delay. That's I wish there was a smoother integrate or a seamless integration between doing something like a Zoom call and a Facebook live stream, but
Yeah.
this is the closest I can get is using OBS, which is just a streaming software
Yeah.
to bring in the Zoom feed and put it on the Facebook live feed. So, which means there's a
Sweet.
20-30 second delay from what's actually being streamed on Facebook live from like right now you and I are talking real time. Everybody else on Facebook live is going to be, if they're watching it from there instead of
Hearing
Zoom,
it.
is going to hear it 20-30 seconds later.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
you got time to run away if you I'm just kidding. What what's going on, man? How can I help?
Not much, man. So, from the last time we spoke, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna man up here. I was like so into getting the keyword stuff finished out because like my ad groups weren't finished
Okay.
when we had last one over stuff. So
Yeah.
I finished up the ad groups, and then I realized I ran into another problem. It's like a challenge every single day that I'm like facing.
Okay.
So like just really quick, so like each ad group, the keywords, am I supposed to be putting the because I completely forgot about the broad match modified, the pluses in front of three or more words.
The
Am I
rule,
supposed to,
right? There's a general rule, right?
yeah,
Okay.
that I completely did not follow because I don't know, man.
Well,
I'm
is
trying to
your
do everything.
That's okay. So let's back up to the beginning.
Yeah,
And then there's something I want to cover with you about a little bit later. Let me write it down so I don't forget. Okay, now I won't forget it. Uh, so let's start at the beginning. You got a brand new campaign, right? It's not running
yeah.
yet. Okay,
No, it's
so
running.
it's running.
I said screw it. I'm just gonna run it, and then I generate some calls. I'll get into that.
Okay, okay,
But yeah. So as
okay.
far as
So
the
your campaign's running.
keywords,
When
yeah.
so you're specifically when you said broad match modified, I thought maybe your campaign wasn't running yet. So you've got a
It's running.
camp.
I just paused it though because there was an issue with the client, not with like nothing's working as far as generating clients. It's
Right.
generating some clients.
You'd be
So
surprised how many. I mean, you might go through a few clients in order to find one that'll actually answer the phone very well, because
yeah,
most business owners. See, that's the thing. Like most people get in if you're targeting HVAC companies, are they salesmen or are they HVAC professionals? You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they're licensed HVAC or licensed plumbers or licensed pest control. Like that's what they think that their business is all about. And so
yes,
when it comes to things like it's even as simple as answering the phone, they're
yeah,
horrible at it, right?
right.
And
It's
and
terrible.
one of the yeah one
Like
of like almost like you understand why some of these reviews you see on Google are so
yeah.
negative. Okay,
No,
so
dead serious, man. I was like, "Are you kidding me right
this is
now?" Like, I'll,
why.
I'll be transparent, dude, on here to help other people because,
Sure.
like, I obviously I can go into other niches I'm not worried about. being super transparent, letting people even listen to a couple of the phone calls and
Yeah.
like, all that. So, but
So
yeah, man, it's
you're going
crazy.
to find that you're going to find that the thing that talk about a lot for client engagement ongoing with an actual client or set
Yeah,
of clients is going to be working on training on the phone, right? Now, the
yeah,
business owner may or may not be the one that answers the phone. It could be an assistant, right? And an assistant is not a salesperson. So
right,
they still need that help from you. And that's what I call going above and beyond for your client, because when you help them close more on your phone calls, do you think they close on every other phone call they get that's not from you? Absolutely.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Their business is going to go
Yeah,
through the roof in general, and they're going to remember who it is that helped them with that. You know what I
right.
mean? Because you're going to
Yeah,
walk. It's a process. You walk them through that. It's not your job. It's not part of the. Uh, it's not part of the process technically, but it's
but the rapport you
again
build by doing that
correct.
for a
Not
long-term
even just the
relationship.
yeah, not even just the rapport, but just think business relationship. I mean, it's kind of like
Yeah,
if you know you've got well, there's like classic cars out there that need a little bit of love,
yeah,
right? And if with just a little bit of TLC, that classic car it's irreplaceable, right?
right,
Like
right,
they're not making them anymore,
right.
and to not to completely rebuild it, but just give it a little bit of care, a little bit of love, you can turn that car's value ridiculously up compared to what it was, within a couple of weeks, even
Yeah,
just by cleaning it up and just cleaning it up. Would
right.
make the value go high. So it's the same concept here with working with our clients. When we find a client that's a keeper, that's like finding an old goat. You know what I'm saying? Like something like a
Yeah,
GTO where you just don't find those anymore. They ain't making them like that anymore, and
no,
the parts for it even in some cases are very rare. And so you may not have all those parts, but you've got the car. You've got that
right.
rare relationship, and you want to take care of it because most people would buy the goat. Most agencies rather would buy the goat, and I'm not talking about an actual goat, but like the
Right.
GTO. Just for everybody else listening, I know you probably know, but for all the girls going, what's a goat? So, and not to knock females, there are some females out there that are really, really slick and do know what a GTO is. So, but a goat is, I don't know, it's just something about it, the way it looks, that even if it's beat up, right?
Mm.
If the
Not to knock
paneling,
females. There are some females out there that are really, really slick. Know what a
hey
GTO is.
Mike,
So,
you mind muting your Facebook feed? I'm gonna mute you for a second and come back to you in a second. Goat. We were talking about a little bit of TLC goes a long way. Most agencies, what they do is they'll buy the goat and then they don't even bother to vacuum it out or clean it up or give it any kind
Right.
of a wax job or nothing, dude. Like, and they just drive it around and drive it into the ground and then go and find the
Right.
next used car. They
The
treat it
next
like
one.
it's a
Yep.
used car as opposed to like something to get them from A to B as
So the
opposed to it.
potential that it has.
Yeah, right. And so
Yeah.
most people don't realize that a client relationship should be treated like a diamond in the rough. Even you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's in the rough. Uh, I used to as a kid when someone said diamond in the rough as a very young kid, I used to think that it was a diamond in the rough like of golf, turf. I didn't realize. I'm dead serious because when you hear rough all the time from golfing, you think, okay,
Yeah.
maybe that's what's a diamond doing in the rough of grass.
Right.
No, no, no. It's diamond in the rough, meaning it needs a little bit of love, a little bit of polishing and cutting.
Yeah.
But man, are they not the most spectacular thing you've seen? Like bling, shiny. I mean, everybody
Oh
talks
yeah.
about it all the time. But in the rough, have you ever seen a diamond?
It just looks like a rock.
I mean, you'd almost not
Literally.
even if you didn't know
Yeah.
what you were looking at, you'd be like
Right.
pebble,
So
you
yeah.
know.
Right.
And I don't know. There's just something about that to be said about that management of the relationship. Now back to the campaign for you, and we'll continue on with any other questions you have.
Yeah.
Uh, the winning keywords. You were specifically talking about winning keywords.
No, well, I wanted to get to that, but the main thing was like I totally forgot to. Can I just show you?
Yeah, sure,
So we
sure.
don't. Because
So
like,
on the
man,
well, here's the thing. Just so I understand before we look at, you can go ahead and share it, but on your screen, and I'll see it. But while you're loading that up, in the main campaign, you don't do broad match modified anymore.
oh really?
Yeah, broad only. Broad only.
So okay, so then I did everything right then.
Okay.
Because I was following you on one of the 24 hours or less or whatever thing,
Yep.
and so that's what. Okay,
That's why
so
I
then
was
I guess
asking
I'm
you, because whenever you say broad match modified, to me, you're talking about the winning
the
keyword
winning
process.
keywords in their
Yeah.
own ad groups.
Yeah.
That I already forgot anyway, and literally, man, I've spent hours trying to go back in some of your videos and try to find exactly where you're like dropping some of those nuggets on how to do stuff like that because I couldn't find it. I like went in the COVID. I'm like, is there might have been a live stream where you went over that with I think it might have been Andy on one
Oh
that I
yeah,
wasn't
I've
on.
covered it a few times, but that I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
so I
mind
was like
covering
trying to
it.
go back.
I don't mind covering it with you. So you tell me what it is that
Oh,
you need help with,
okay,
one thing at a time. Take it easy. And I know
right,
Michael's going to be here, so
right.
when we're done, he's next in the queue, and no rush. Whatever you need.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
cool. So let me just go and share my screen real here.
All right. Now it may look like I'm not looking at you or paying attention, but I'm actually looking at your
You are?
screen. Yeah.
Okay,
So
it's like kind of like taking up my. I'm on a laptop here. I'm not hooked up to my monitor downstairs.
that's okay.
But
I
I'll
can
just come
see.
over to the.
Yep.
You can't. Okay.
I can see your screen. You're good.
Okay. So, so I actually paused it because there was an issue with the secretary, the way she's answering the phone, and
Okay. What's the issue?
uh,
Just for
okay,
everybody else's knowledge.
yeah. So like, here I'll just come over here. Um, well, there's like a number of things that already happened. I was just like, dude, I'm just gonna pause this thing and like try to figure stuff out. So like, for example, these first three calls,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly they were calls. I don't know what this means because in
Wasn't
the AdWords
charged.
side, these first three, it shows as calls in here, and then on the AdWords side it does. But it's like, was the phone ringing?
Nope.
That was my first.
Didn't
No.
connect. No recording. It didn't connect.
So what does that mean? Like why?
So
Like
usually when you see a lot of that initially on a brand new campaign, what that
uh,
is indicative of is lower intent. Not like it's not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, you want less low intent, more high intent in terms of um, actually people that want to speak to someone about appliance repair in this case, right?
uh-huh.
What you've got here are three people that either it's one of a few scenarios. One, it was the wrong time for them, but they are interested in getting someone to fix an appliance, but their kids are yelling bloody murder, right? Or someone knocked at the door right as they were dialing, right? Weird shit like that happens, believe it or not. Or
Uh-huh.
the other scenario is going to be they were researching something about appliance repair, clicked on the ad, and oops, I did not mean to try and call someone. Because here's the deal, when you click on a call only ad, this is specific to call only ads. When you click
Yeah.
on an ad on your phone, right? What happens is instead of going to a website or something like that, remember nobody sees the website you build.
Yep.
What they see is the phone dialer app pop up with the actual
Yep.
phone number populated, ready to dial. But guess what they still have to do?
Click it.
They still have to click it. And here's even further than that. They have to click the call button, and let it ring so that it'll start the recording. So if you see zeroed out recordings, then that tells you so basically
It,
you've got three people that either didn't, fit one of those scenarios basically, that either clicked and didn't hit the call button, or they did hit the call button but didn't let it ring, or they had something come up. So these are three that I would go back and look into the optimization. You remember the optimization stuff?
uh,
Vaguely, even it's okay. You know when
yeah.
what I mean when I say optimize the campaign.
On the AdWords side,
Yeah.
or
Oh yeah.
yeah, like going into the search,
Right. Okay. So
but
that
I
whole
can't remember
thing.
how to do
That's
it.
okay.
Yeah.
But you've got the step by step in front of you, right? With the
Right.
guide, so you know exactly what I
Okay.
say when I say optimization. So all you've got to do now is go back and actually optimize the campaign based on this data that you're now pulling in. See, a lot of people think that You can optimize a campaign fully without any data coming in. Um, my challenge to that would be you can optimize, but only to a point on a brand new
Okay.
campaign. Before starting it, you have to have some kind of data coming in. And think of it this way. When you send email, are you familiar with email servers any?
Um, like Mailgun and all that
Yeah,
stuff,
just mail
probably.
in general, like sending
Yeah,
email. Okay, so
yeah. I've
there's.
I've done campaigns.
Have you heard of something called a feedback loop?
Yeah, but I don't understand it.
That's okay. It's basic. It's basic email delivery. Think email delivery, and it's a little bit more
Okay.
advanced. I say basic, but um, the basic concept of it is this: is that for every 1,000 emails you send out, let's say, the
Hmm.
feedback loop actually feeds back to you, telling you that you've got a high delivery rate or not, right? And the more successful deliveries you have, especially initially on a brand new IP, for example, that you're mailing from, the better quality you'll have as you expand that mailing from 1,000 to 100,000 into a million, etc. It's an old trick, and not trick really, but an old strategy for warming up IPs is what they call it. You'll send out several hundred emails and then several thousand emails, and then you kind of level up or tier up on an IP
Right,
address.
warming up the list,
And what every
warming up
time
your
exactly
IP.
IPs, and what that does is every time your feedback loop feeds back to you. I want you to look at your data, and you don't have to know anything about emails or anything about servers and what I just said, other than understanding that with a feedback loop for emailing the way I just explained to you in the basic concept, would you get anything data wise back in order to tier up to that next level if you weren't even sending any emails?
No.
No. So that means same concept applies here. Would you get any good data from your feedback loop here uh, to optimize the campaign to go to the next level, if you will, of the campaign, right? Dialing it in and next level and next level. Would you get that if you weren't running the campaign?
No, of course
No.
not.
Now you can have a good idea of good practices for sending emails like less links, no images, stuff like that tends to improve delivery rate, right? Certain
Hmm.
keywords you want to keep away from. Same concept applies here inside of the ad campaigns is except for instead of keywords and links, worrying about that or what the spam meter or spam detector says, you would be looking at your market research. So, for example, if you look at appliance repair, you're probably, and you've done your market research, you're probably going to want to go ahead and from day one include keywords in your negative section that have
Hmm.
to that have to do with jobs, salaries, um, positions, hiring, all those kinds of
Yeah.
those are no brainer, right? You
Right.
understand that and you know that,
Yep.
so you apply them out of the gate day one. So that's what I talk about when I say you can't run a fully optimized campaign from day one, but you can do all you can do, and then let
Right.
the data in your feedback loop, so to speak, tell you what. And so what we're looking at here, here's my point. Those three calls, those
Yeah.
are good feedback points of interest you want to look at inside of your campaign under the search term screen and use the
Okay.
optimization training. Absolutely. So
Okay.
nothing's wrong there. Just got a little work to do. That's all.
And also like I did the triangulation of the location section of the AdWords
Yep.
setting. You know what I mean? To you said the blue and the darker blue it
Yep.
gets and all that. So I went off because I haven't even spoke to these people. I went off their website under their service area and it showed all the counties they serviced.
Yeah.
So I went in and added each county, then added each little town they listed and the
Good.
zip code if it would pop up in
Right.
the
Sometimes it
add-ins,
won't, but most times it will.
and it
Yeah.
some of them, yeah, some of them didn't, but I made sure I did that. And then a couple of these calls, the guy was like, "Oh, where are you located? Oh, you're too far away." And then another chick was like, "Oh, this isn't Foster Appliance." And that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's an issue with the girl answering the phone, and she's not doing a very good job of like going, "Oh, hey, well." we service your area. Where are you located?
Or we're
That's
an
why some,
appliance company. Yeah.
huh?
Or we are an appliance company. How can I help you?
Right,
Right? Yeah,
right,
that's
yeah. So,
basic 101 stuff that most people just don't. I mean, they don't ask for the business because
right,
they're not in sales. They haven't been taught that every time the phone rings, it's an opportunity. I mean, you look at guys like us, even guys like us that are starting out to be like us, right? In agency, in driving of any kind of web traffic, anything like that. Uh, we're in the business of everything counts. You know, every click counts. We track everything. We look at it. We evaluate it. We get better at it. Um, they, a lot of these people, and I'm not judging. I'm just saying this is just kind of how it is. Most businesses, even ones that have 20, 30 trucks on the road,
right,
well, we've been in business 20, 30 years. That's the attitude, right?
yeah,
People know us. They know to call us. And while that's great that they've built up a brand and reputation over the years, it's not 100% of the business they could be getting. I know that much.
exactly.
And if they say they need business right now, then or they're looking to grow, then you can't just rely on what comes in when it comes in, and they're looking
Yeah,
specifically for you. You got to be hungry, you know.
right,
Um, it's it never fails to amaze me the different scenarios, the many different scenarios in which a business will not answer the phone properly.
yeah,
But there are rare instances where, and you will find them too. By the way, the more clients you have, the more chances, the more chances you have, let's say, of winning that lottery, of finding the one or two clients that know how to answer the phone. And here's what's really great about that: you could already be teaching all your existing clients how to answer the phone better, right, or close those deals better. But then when you run into the one or two that really know their shit, you're going to be able to pull from that and use those example recordings, just block out
right,
names and information and use it as
right.
training for your
Okay,
staff and for the clients, right? Like,
right,
to where you don't have to keep having the same conversation over and over again. You know what I mean?
okay,
And
yeah,
it's like, here's a conversation. Here's your girl. Here's what it should be. And they're gonna be like, oh, right? They're gonna light bulb, right? And
yeah.
uh, and the thing is like, is it you that's telling them that, or is it the data that's telling them that?
Yeah,
You know, because
yeah.
they're gonna
Just like they
hear
said, numbers don't lie.
right. And if
Because,
they don't, if you block out, if you edit out the area as well, like where that call comes from,
uh-huh,
it doesn't necessarily imply to your client that's their competitor, but clients tend to quickly, their mind goes to the worst, right? Like, oh shit,
yeah,
is this guy down the street from me? And listen to how he's answering the phone, right? And
right,
listen to how my girl's answering their phone. I've had people that are, I say, I've had clients that have, as business owners, have fired their front office because of
oh
this.
yeah. I
Oh
could
yeah,
see it. Why? I mean,
and
it's
and
costing money.
yeah, and I'm like, listen, it's not their fault. I'm not saying hire them back or anything. I'm just saying know who it is you're hiring for the front office this time around, because what you really, I mean, at the end of the day, you can teach a salesperson to book appointments. You can't teach, well, I won't say you can't teach. It's much more difficult to teach someone that books appointments how to sell,
Right.
especially if they've been doing
Agree.
it for the last 10 years for you and they're crabby and they're
Yeah.
stuck in their ways, you know?
And this girl sounds like
Oh
that.
yeah. I
That's what I
believe
was
it.
like. I was listening. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to either A, hit them up and be like, hey, I didn't send you calls, but you're kind of ruining potential jobs, or
I
so. I
know.
mean, I don't know. Just move on to the next
Find
one. I
another
don't know.
one. Yeah, find another one for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So,
So,
okay, so we're good on the data and understanding what it means inside of ring ads. What about your actual
right.
campaigns? Do you have any questions for me in the
Yeah, I
campaign
kind of
section?
do, just because
Okay.
like I don't know, it's just because man, I'm totally out of my comfort zone here, and
Totally okay.
I've never done this, and so I don't know what the hell's going on with this column here. That's weird. So yeah, when this popped up in front of me here, I'm like, okay, so I guess I get analysis paralysis is what you call it or something. Like I don't know
Okay.
what the hell to do. Like obviously I see there's the general ad group here is generating clicks,
Yep.
but some of these columns aren't matching. Like it says only one conversion,
Yeah.
but then on the ring ad side it says 6 calls. So I'm just kind of
Yeah.
don't know what.
on your conversion data, and you said you turned the campaign off when?
I just paused it before I got on the call with you because I
Okay.
listened to the couple of the calls. I'm like, okay, dude, I need to like
Can you do me a
switch.
favor? Refresh your screen here. Yep.
Okay.
There you go. I just want to see something really quick.
Oh, great.
That's okay. That's
Oh, wait,
okay.
whoops, that's the wrong one. And I know you hate Leeds name. I made this a long time ago.
It's
Dude,
not.
I almost
Listen,
changed it
dude.
when you
Listen.
said that, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna keep it,
Leeds
man.
is Leeds is one of those things where I won't say I hate it. I just I don't teach it because it's so me too, hashtag me
Yeah,
too, so generic. So I'm not going to beat you up on it. I just
it's just the sister company. It's not like I'm
you're
using
not using it
vertical
as the.
individual
I
vertical
got you.
names.
Yeah,
So like you taught
yeah.
appliance repair,
Then it's
live
definitely
pro,
not.
whatever.
Then it's definitely not going to be an issue for you. Yeah, that's yeah. It's not, and that's fine.
That's just my LLC, so I
Yeah,
don't use that.
nothing wrong with that. Yeah, if you don't want to. I understand, like, if you've already made an LLC, that's fine. 'Cause as long as you're not having to
Yeah,
say that all the time, then you're fine.
right.
And even later
Well, I was
on,
literally gonna change it, man. Like I heard he kept saying, I was like, you know what? He's kind of right. It's kind of cheesy. I'm like, maybe I should do like direct call
look
now
at
or something like
you
that.
want a best you want the best example of someone who's in like multiple verticals. Look at some of the industry leaders, like, and I say that with a little bit of sarcasm, but they are leading the industry. Home Advisor.
Yeah.
Home Advisor. It has nothing. It doesn't say anything about exactly what it is they do. Actually, if
Hmm.
anything, it says in their name what they do for the client, not or the consumer end, not
Hmm.
for guys like us or for the actual appliance repair companies or anybody that they do
Yeah.
business with. Um,
No, it's cool. I like the psychology behind it.
yeah,
So,
makes a difference. Okay, and then scroll down just a little bit for me, and then over to the right again because you had your phone calls column listed as well. 5 calls. Okay, so your data is close. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for disparity in data. So
okay.
between Google Ads and Ring Ads, not every phone call is going to be picked up, right? 100%.
Right.
And if you notice,
Right.
you've
Right.
got 5 phone calls listed here, 6 that were listed inside of Ring Ads, right? That
Right.
registered at least, even with no recording, and 1 conversion. Now, conversions are always on an 8-hour delay, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're on an 8-hour delay. They used to tell you in small print at the bottom of the search term screen that conversions
Uh-huh.
data is always delayed, and it used to say exactly 8 hours. I'm not sure what it is now or if they've changed it at all, but that's why we don't optimize our campaign. Excuse me. That's why we don't optimize our campaigns on today's data today. We optimize today's data tomorrow. So
Wow.
we're always a day behind on like today we would be optimizing your campaign for everything that happened up to yesterday, not today's worth. So you would go
Okay.
in, see how you have your date set May 20th to today. You would actually,
Yeah.
if you were going to go in and optimize your campaign right this second, you would set that to the 27th of July because you don't want to
20. Okay.
optimize on today's data. It's incomplete,
Right.
right?
Okay.
That's
So
that's
always
how we look
do
at
the
it.
day you're on and yet to yesterday.
Not the day you're on, but yesterday's, the day before that's date.
Oh, just the whole day.
Yeah, today's the
Okay.
28th, right? So
Right,
yesterday's the
right.
27th. If we were going to optimize today on the 28th, we would optimize, you'd set your dates from wherever to the 27th, not to the 28th. Okay?
Okay.
And we do that because that gives us that lead time of 24 hours to cover that 8-hour delay in today's data so that we're not
Okay.
optimizing on today's data because it's incomplete. Okay?
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So
your
yeah, I
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, man.
I was gonna say your click-through rate's looking good, at least on an ad group level. First
Yeah, I was
thing,
gonna ask, what would you like on average to see on an ad group level click-through rate to be at on your
higher the
page?
better. Higher the better. It doesn't
Right.
actually anything over 1% is going to be good, but the idea is to always continually be split testing to improve the results. So you're always going to run
Okay.
a true split test. You never want to just stick with one ad copy, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
and you don't want to run 30 either inside of each ad group.
Right.
You just want to run 5,
Right.
right?
Okay.
Split test
I think I'm
each.
doing three. Three
Okay.
on each ad group.
Well, five actually split tests each item. So you've got headline one, headline two, description line one, description line two. That's four plus
Oh,
the original ad that you're or what we
yeah.
call the control. That's five ad
Right.
set or five ad copies. So you want to change only one thing about like start with your master ad, your control ad, and then
Yeah.
change in ad two, change headline one only from that master
Right.
ad. Then
Right.
in
Right.
ad
Right.
three, you change headline two.
Yep.
Only headline two, and you just do that. That's what we call a true split test, okay? And you do that for
That's
each of
awesome.
you do that for each of your ad groups. And here's the thing: is like if you were able to increase your click through rate on your ad copy by doing that, which I know you will be able to do this over time, you'll be able to increase your click through rate by like 20%, and then next time you do another 20%, it actually compounds, right?
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a 20 plus 20 is 40% increase. No, no, no. It's 20% on the 20%. Okay, which is actually
Okay.
44%, or yeah, it's 44%, right?
Yeah.
And so you do that. In other words, every three or four different split tests, and you keep improving by 20% click through rate, which is actually not that
Dude.
much. I've seen some people double their click through rates, okay,
Wow.
in one split test. I'm serious. And so if you
Wow.
do that, I mean, you go from 1% to 2%, that's a 100% increase, but then every increase after is actually compounded on top of that 100%. So you can imagine how
Man.
targeted and dialed in. Okay.
Oh
So,
yeah.
okay, so first things first, when I look at campaigns, I always like to start with, especially if I haven't seen it before, I like to start with checking the settings. So, since I
Okay.
haven't looked at your settings or anything like that, can we scroll up? There you go.
Click it.
Click on your settings,
Okay.
and
I gotta keep moving this box around, this camera zoom box. It's like taking up my
oh
little.
yeah, you're on the laptop.
I
Yeah,
got like
yeah.
this giant picture of me and you. Like, let me
You
move.
should be able to minimize that.
I was trying to while you were talking, but I was trying not to not listen to what you were saying while taking my
That's okay.
focus
I'll
off
wait.
here.
I'll wait.
I'm just gonna hide it. Oh, okay, there we go.
You good to go?
All
Okay.
right.
You're still hearing
Yeah, we're
everything.
good now.
Okay.
Yep, I'm
All
still
right.
here. Yeah.
Where's your settings? There they are.
There
Okay.
we go.
Um, so the first thing I look at is networks under Google Search Network. Let's do the drop down there.
Mhm.
Good. It's deselected. That's good. Postcodes and areas. We'll look at locations in a minute on the
Okay.
separate section there.
Uh-huh.
Manual CPC. That looks good. Scroll down just a bit. Additional settings. We're looking for rotate ads indefinitely. Yep, good. Campaign level conversions, conversion action and use, very good. And okay, yeah, your settings are fine there. Let's take it. The
Okay.
next thing I want to take a look at is you've set your ad groups up, right? Let's go back to the ad group screen just quickly. I want to take a look
Uh-huh.
at what your bids are set at here, just so I understand. Did not look at that. $4. Okay, so you started at $4. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the low hanging fruit.
Okay.
That's
Okay. And let's take a look at your keywords level.
okay.
Very good. See, you know your way around the platform. That's good.
Yeah, I've been screwing around with it, so I'm a little bit more
That's the only
familiar.
way, dude. It's the only way to get good at it. Okay, set your bids at $4 there. Very good. Scroll over to the right just a little bit so I can see the rest of that data. What actually converted? What keyword was it that converted? Something appliance repair.
Okay, so
Okay.
when you're counting the converted, are you talking the phone the clicks?
No, no, no. Converted meaning conversion. See where it says conversions?
Well, remember it said on the main screen it said one, but yet I had 5 calls, so that's why I was asking
Remember,
what was
conversion
going
data
on.
is also delayed,
Delayed, duh.
right?
Okay, so right.
And a conversion also means the call actually went through, right? There's a difference between a
Okay.
call going through and one counting as a conversion, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so the keyword that converted is appliance repair. Now, if that's a qualified phone call that comes through, you're gonna go in and actually treat that as a winning keyword. I'm not saying
Right.
it's a definite. I'm just saying when your conversion data comes through tomorrow, you're gonna come back and look at today, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
figure, put the pieces together here, okay?
Right.
And it's going to
Yep.
get simpler to do that in the future because within Ring Ads, like I said, one of the things in development is going to be down to the keyword level next to the phone call. Like there's not going to be any guesswork.
Which I want to tell you, man, your platform's awesome, man. Just
Thanks.
the simplicity
Was
of
it
it.
easy? Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
whole point. Is like make it stupid simple, like
Yeah, it's very
easy,
clean,
fun to
just
use.
easy to
Right.
navigate.
Yeah. Did you happen to learn about the clone feature yet? The copy
No,
feature?
not yet.
All right. So
I haven't.
just as a quick heads up, and this is for everybody, I always like this part. Is so you created a campaign, right, for appliance repair
I did.
inside of Ring
I
Ads,
did.
inside of Google, and yeah, you can show it, and you'll notice over by the actions section, you have something called copy.
Oh, sick. I didn't even know that.
So like when it comes time for client number one, right, you can take this
Yeah.
example campaign, plug in a new phone number from Twilio, right, for your new client,
Yeah.
but also maybe a couple other tweaks like where to forward the number to. Very, very few changes, and you have
Oh,
everything else if it's set with the pre-recorded messages you're putting on there, all that kind of stuff. All
right.
that stuff is exactly the same for that brand new client, unless you change it out, right? So there's only
Right.
literally a handful of settings to change, and then
To
you
flip it
save the
on there.
campaign, and you're out of Ring Ads
Wow.
into Google Ads and into your ad site. So
So
basically,
you would copy it here, and then you would also go in the AdWords section and copy the campaign in there as well.
yeah, that's how
Same
easy it
thing.
is. Yeah. So basically,
Wow.
your steps. Oh, and this is more of like a bigger picture, but the overall steps here are: well, new client, log into Ring Ads. Okay. Copy the campaign, change out the settings for the new client, right?
Yep.
And then
Yep.
once you have the new phone number, go to your ads website. That's step two. Copy the page there that you already have
Yep.
existing. Change
Yep.
out the data for your new client, including the new phone number you just got from Ring Ads, right? And that's a
Yep.
copy paste process, right, with a couple of changes. Then you go over to Google Ads and you take all the data from your ad site that you now have, the URL, and the phone number
Yep.
that you got from Ring Ads. You put those together inside of the copied campaign inside of Google Ads. Copy, copy,
Yep.
copy, dude. Just like that.
Dude, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, it used to be
So
a hell of a
there's
lot
no reason
harder.
why it should take more than 3 hours per new client.
Oh, hell no. It's
Once
going
you,
to take you more like when you have this thing dialed in, it'll be like 30, 45 minutes per client.
and then right there, teaching somebody to do that is
Do you
pretty
see what I'm
easy. It's
saying? You
like
can
creating a
pay somebody
video.
$8, $10 an hour to do that
Yeah.
easily.
Yep.
And if you already had sales staff before that, if you practice what I teach okay, so you get the idea. If you practice what I
Yeah.
teach on that, you've got sales staff churning out 3 to 5 clients, and then you've got
Dude.
someone setting up the campaigns. You know, life is good. So yeah,
Hell yeah.
this is actually and oh, another thing. There's also a draft feature, a save draft feature. So whenever you start a campaign, whether you start it fresh or you copy it, as soon as you add in a Twilio phone number, right,
Uh-huh.
it actually auto saves it as a draft, even if you haven't published the campaign.
Oh, so if I was to go to add new and copy and all that stuff,
Yeah,
so
like go ahead and click add new. I'll show you without actually
okay.
costing you any money here, even though it's only $1 a number. See where it says add number?
Uh-huh.
All you have
Yeah.
to do is name the campaign, click on add
Yep.
number, and add a number. And once you've added a number without clicking save, in case this is in case you accidentally click the back button or forget
Right.
or go to sleep or kids yelling,
Yeah.
dogs barking, it actually saves the campaign into a draft mode so that you don't lose
That's
anything
cool.
that you put in.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I like that.
Just as a heads up there. So yeah, super simple platform. I agree.
Oh yeah. I
Pretty
love it,
pretty easy
man.
to use. The ad campaign. Let's head back there though. I want to make sure
Okay.
we're good to go there. So
Yep.
um,
So you won't do anything with the optimization side as far as taking a keyword and creating a new ad group, or putting it as a negative until there's a conversion. This clicks stuff doesn't matter.
no, clicks indicate that there's intent, but not the highest intent. The highest intent is obviously going to be when you hear a recording qualified phone call or see what someone has typed in as
Uh-huh.
like appliance repairman near me. Like very specific. So no, the clicks we don't focus on that as much as we do the ad copy and the actual click through rate.
Okay.
That's more important.
So
Okay.
would you, as far as the data goes, to get rid of it, or pause it and get rid of it so it doesn't keep costing money on the clicks, do you
Right.
go to like 5 clicks with no conversion and
Oh, no,
then
no,
get rid?
no, no, no. We base it all off of search term screen. So if you
Right.
want to head there real quick, search term screen over to the left.
Whoops.
There you go. What you're looking for is let's see if any data shows up here. Scroll down. There you go. Okay, so search term over to the left. That's what someone actually typed
Right.
into their browser
Right.
Google search thing, search bar. I always sort by conversions because I like to know what converted and put that at the top.
Yep.
Because I always start with the winning keywords first. What made me the money? Let me work on that first. What cost me the money? That's what I work on second, which that's all the negative keywords. And have you seen any of the training I've come up with on negative keywords for that? Like I've gone over with people, some of our past sessions.
I don't remember, man. I've watched so much shit, man. Like,
That's okay.
I've
Negative.
had information overload and
That's
just
okay.
trying to juggle everything.
You know what's crazy is you say information overload, but in terms of you loading up, let's say information wise, you come on this call and you're actually, if you're not paying attention right now, you're actually much more prepared for the conversations we're having than me having to explain everything step by step to you. And
Right.
I'm not saying either way is bad. I'm just saying I actually find it that you're doing very well in terms of retaining and understanding the information. So
Okay.
you may right now maybe going through a feeling of overwhelm, but
Right.
I feel confident that you understand what the concepts I'm laying down to you and that you're going to take those and run with them. As long
Yeah,
as
man,
you're
because
able
I'm working,
to,
I'm working a lot, man, and
I
third
believe
shift,
it.
and then juggling being a dad. And I'm going on like no sleep, and I'm like, dude, I got to do this if I want to,
But look at where you're at.
switch career.
Where were you a few weeks ago? You know what I mean? You didn't
Yep.
have a
Not
campaign
doing
up,
this.
yeah. You
Yeah.
didn't have a
So
campaign up and running or nothing. So
feels
I'm
good.
super proud. Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so the first thing we do is sort by conversions. I always do that whenever I come into search terms. That's just a standard thing
Yep.
I do. And I work with winning keywords, then negative keywords, and then keyword ideas. Because
Okay.
I want to work first with what made me the money, what cost me the money, and what could make me more money. In that order,
Right.
okay?
Okay.
In that order. And that's how you have to look at it. Now, there are some trainings or some sessions, I think some past sessions that I've done in the coaching call section, I'm pretty sure, where we've covered at great length how to pull multiple negative keywords, like dozens and dozens, hundreds of negative keywords, even sometimes, from one
Hmm.
search term.
Okay.
Okay, so you see you've got, what is that, 4 or 5 listed right here, at least?
Where are we at?
No, maybe about a dozen. Okay, so or 8 to a dozen, something like that.
Yeah.
Search terms, right?
Yep.
Now, here's the thing: you need to also know what keyword drove the search term, right? What keyword got matched up with it. So how you find that is you see where it says columns there on your upper right middle part of the screen. Yep.
Yep.
Click on that. You're going to search for attributes, keyword. Select it, apply. Boom. Now, what this is going to do is put that as a column inside your data, and if you scroll over just a little bit, you'll actually see the keyword that drove the conversion, as we saw on the keyword level. Remember, we're in search
Okay.
term screen right now. Is
Yeah.
appliance
Yeah.
repair, but what
Uh-huh.
someone typed in was raise appliances. See that?
Okay, that's where I was getting confused here.
Okay,
So appliance repair isn't the actual
that's
phrase that they typed in. The actual phrase they typed in was raise appliances.
yep, as seen over on the left-hand side of the screen. Exactly. And matter of fact, this is when I say exactly. You know how people can talk into your phone nowadays, or talk into their
Yeah.
phone, where they say
Yeah.
like, "Hey Google, look up such and such."
Yeah.
That'll actually show everything that they said after "Hey Google."
Hold on a second, William. You made my Google Google
Oh,
Home go off.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, I gotta turn it
Tell
off.
her, tell her, yeah, tell her be quiet.
She started playing music.
That's hilarious. I'm
So,
sorry. I did not mean
holy
to mess you.
shit.
I didn't. You should have
No,
told me you had Google Home installed.
I
Okay.
wasn't even thinking about it, man.
Oh man. Okay. So someone typed in raise appliances, but they could have just as easily said the words, "Hey, you know what?" and
Yeah,
raise
yeah.
appliances, right? Hey, Big
Okay.
G, right? Hey, Big
Yeah.
G, and raise appliances, and if that's all they said, that's what would be showing in the search term. So it actually shows those results as well, not just what someone would type in from a desktop, right? It shows that
Wow.
too, but it also shows what people speak into the phone. And what's crazy is it'll show. You know how sometimes your phone doesn't understand you because
Yeah.
there's background noise or maybe it's an accent, especially with me. Uh,
Okay.
so your phone, you say find the nearest appliance repair company, and it says find the nearest um, uh, appliance despair company instead of repair.
Yeah.
Let's just say
Yeah.
that as a it would actually show that in your search term here because that's what
Oh,
I had typed in,
that's
right?
hilarious.
Yeah, so it's very literal in terms of actual data from what was typed in,
So
and
that's
you'll
what I didn't understand before. So the left side is what they typed in. The right side is pulling from the keyword that it thought was closest to what I have in my keyword list.
what Google associated your the search term when somebody was typing in, what Google associated to be closest match
Associated.
for the keyword.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So, by the way, your keywords need some work. I can tell right out of the gate, and I'll show you how I figure this out. But this comes down to optimization and what we call highest intent, lowest intent. We've talked about that a little bit before.
Uh-huh.
Appliance repair. Is that a high intent keyword?
No, it's not. I actually took this from another appliance repair company because I was trying to come up with extra ideas because I was originally just doing it off of Google's. I better be careful with how I say that, so I just keep going off. But Big G's in the keyword planner thing, when you're setting up the ad, the first ad group, it gives you the box and then you can start typing in stuff and then picking what it
Yep.
gives you.
Yep.
I was originally doing that and I was like running out of stuff. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna pull some stuff from a website. And then so it was giving me some of those keywords too. So I was just going through and trying to like go through anything that's. I was trying to generalize each list.
Here's the thing.
With
We used to teach. I used to teach throwing a bunch of shit against the wall, and whatever sticks, that's what we go with and expand on or focus on. But we expand based on that, right? Which is feedback loop, but that's like instead of throwing 1,000 emails and then 10,000 and 100,000 and a million, that's like throwing 10 million and we get back what we get back, and then we just focus on that. That's how we did things. Used to do them
Yeah.
through single keyword ad groups and all kinds of like. The thing is, Google's moving away from that, which is why we segment our keywords based on topic now, which you've done. But we also want to start. It's actually the opposite way of thinking. Don't get me wrong. The single keyword ad group is. I'm not saying it's ineffective. It still works currently, but I can tell you this right now. It's going to become less effective as time goes on. Okay, it's
Right.
just a fact. And it's not
Right.
me that's saying that. It's Google that's showing us that, right? Otherwise, they'd be
Okay.
talking about single keyword ad groups all the time. Okay. Now,
Yep.
they used to discourage you against it, which was a telltale sign. Now they don't even talk about it. You know why?
Wow.
Because they don't have to anymore. The data is going to
Right.
show everybody where they're going to have what they're going to have to shift over to. So now what we do is we start with like a really tight core of keywords that we start with and expand out from. Instead of having to, and here's the thing, with that box you were talking about, right? As I taught you, Google gives
Yeah.
us the answers, right? Where the traffic
Exactly.
is, where the overwhelming amount of traffic is to start with. Now, all we have to do with those answers is pick the right answers. Google gives us the
Right.
answers on traffic. We need to pick the best traffic for us, which is what we call high intent or highest intent. So things like keywords like appliance repair. By the way, that keyword might actually drive qualified phone calls. We don't know yet, but we don't start with it because we don't know yet. And also, appliance repair could someone type in appliance repair jobs, appliance repair salary, and let's say you didn't have
Right.
those as negatives, and there could be a million other different combinations. The point is, you don't want to spend money on a keyword like that, because every time you do, you're paying, what is that, $3.96 there?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, every time you do, you're paying money, right?
Right.
You're paying money that
So in this instance, then this appliance repair, which is silly how that even drove a conversion, I would get rid of that then.
well, no, here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying to get rid of it. You should get rid of it, but you shouldn't have started with it. Is more my point.
From the jump.
Yeah,
Okay.
from the jump. I think that's what I'm trying to illustrate here is that you
Okay.
start with look at this one, the appliance repair right below it. Is that
Mhm.
is that 100% like on point?
No.
Highest intent? No.
No.
What about LG dryer repair near me?
Yes, that's on point.
Absolutely, right? LG
Yeah.
dryer repair near me. That's absolutely on point. What do you got below that?
We got that appliance repair is coming up again.
Right, and again and again and again. And see, here's the thing. How many of those calls came in that were qualified? Half of them out of the gate didn't even connect, right? What does
Right.
that tell us
That's
about
probably
our?
why.
That's probably why. That's exactly right. So here's the thing: you don't even have to like strictly evaluate your data to be able to come up with that answer. You came up, you told me, and the thing is, like a lot of people go, William, what's wrong with my campaign? Or I don't understand this, or I don't understand that. That's why I'm covering the concepts with you, and not just for you, but for everybody on the call, is because when I look at data, data gives me the answers. Data makes me the smart guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
in turn, you could be the smart guy as well. All you have to do is look at your data, right?
Yep.
Don't ask me, ask your data. Now, if you need help reading or understanding your data, dude, I'm here for you all day long. You know that.
Yep.
But I look at this and I go, shit, man, that thing's come up a few times. The appliance repair has come up twice that I see. And then appliance repair services, that's higher intent, but it may not be the highest intent, right? So that's one
Right.
that I might not get rid of. Appliance repair, and
Definitely get
the
rid of that.
appliance repair, I'd probably, I'd probably bounce those for a while, or at least keep my eye on them, make sure it's not spending. Because look, you spent your budget. You've already spent your
Yeah.
budget, and it's what is it? It's 1 o'clock here Pacific time. Where are you at? You're on the East Coast, right?
I'm in the Midwest.
Midwest.
I'm 2 hours. Yeah.
Okay, so you're Central time.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You still have a few hours left, in other words, of business where, what if somebody's working and they don't call for appliance repair till 5 or 6 p.m.? You don't know because
Right.
your data hasn't told you yet, right? So you need to be able to, that's why we start with a tight core. Think of it like that. Stuff we know is absolutely the highest intent. We know it's going to convert. There's going to be negative keywords that come up and shit like that, but overall, it's going to convert, right?
Yeah.
And then we dial the campaign in, and then we can expand out from there. That's what we call new keyword ideas. So this is where, and by the way, misspellings, repeat words, appliance repair. Remember how I told you the talking to your phone function of the hey big G thing, how that messes up frequently. It's not Google's fault necessarily. It's just I'm just saying it messes up frequently. Those are keywords that you can target. That's my point there. But
Smart.
you don't want to target them out of the gate.
Okay.
Don't want to target them out of the gate because they're not the highest intent.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I'm not saying I'm a perfectionist. I'm actually probably a recovering perfectionist. But when I see my phone screw up, do you think I fix it or do you think I leave it?
You fix it.
I fix it. Are there people out there that leave it? There are, right? But most people do what?
They try
They
to.
they fix it. They fix it, right? Because they don't want the inaccurate results. They know that Google is a literal being, and if you type in something wrong or say something wrong, but actually Google has gotten smarter in their results. Have you ever seen where you maybe misspelled something or intentionally or unintentionally, doesn't matter, or spoken something into your phone? Desktop doesn't
And it's
matter,
fixed it.
and it's fixed
Yeah.
it. It said
Yeah.
showing results for and then the corrected way.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's actually a
Yeah, it's done
hyperlink.
that. Just recently, that just happened actually.
Yeah, you can see more results of what Google's like. Sometimes they'll be like showing you results for this. Is that what you meant?
Yep.
Where it's like trying to understand you, you know,
Yep.
which is more than I can say
It's
for
kind
most
of creepy.
people. Yeah, well, it's creepy, but on a certain level, it's like that's more interaction. That's more genuine interaction than I get with an actual human being. Like most human beings don't even
Right.
try to understand my ass. This thing's
Yep.
trying to understand me and my
Right.
search habits and what I'm looking at. And while yes, a little creepy, the point is it exists and it has for some time, but it's getting very, very smart because there have been times where, okay, take a look here. LG repair service near me. That's what somebody typed in there, the third one down. And then look,
Yep.
the appliance repair was the keyword. Google is getting smart enough now in their AI to be able to match up that an LG repair service most likely means what? Appliance repair,
Yeah. Price per
right?
carbon.
They also have access to people's search history, so they
Hmm.
can tell what people are searching for already and what they're in the market for. Remember the audiences
Which is
section of
weird to
the.
me why it did up here appliance repair, but then right here it did the appliance repair. That's kind of weird because they're both competition keywords.
It could be a number of different reasons why that one drove it. Right?
Yeah.
Those are factors that Google knows and Google knows only. Right? Yeah, they're not sharing that information. That's probably their proprietary side. What I would do though, you can actually probably well, let's do it. Fuck it. Ray's Appliances and Davis Appliance. Can you look those up? What area is this targeted in?
Yeah. These guys are working like all over the place. They have a bigger I was gonna say I thought they were in Rock
Rock
Island.
Island, Illinois.
Yeah. I live right on the river and it's actually called the Quad Cities. It's multiple cities on the Iowa and Illinois side. As
Oh
you can
yeah,
see, there's Davenport. I live in Davenport, then Rock Island's right across the bridge.
gotcha.
And then there's Moline and all that. So
Oh yeah, big river
yeah.
town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're a huge river town. So yeah, Ray's Appliance is right across the river in Rock Island.
Okay, and go to their website for me. See where it says
Hmm.
website. Okay,
Yep.
and then the other one we want to look at is Davis. And what we're looking for here is the difference.
Oh, they
Ooh,
don't even have a
ooh,
website.
it's not
I should hit
even
them up.
right. And their website name is Ray's Appliance and Parts.
Yeah, let me
Ray's Appliance and Parts.
RaisApplianceApart.com. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Is it's parked? Is it say not available or did it say parked? Click on it again.
I think it said not available. Yeah, because they have the related link. Maybe it is parked.
No, it's definitely a park domain, but what I would do,
Yeah.
look up who is dot. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Go to Namecheap.
Okay.
Copy that. Take that to Namecheap. Paste it in the search. There you go.
East mode.
Yeah, no, that's where you can do like multiple, like bulk listing search.
That's awesome.
Make offer registered in 2013. So they
Oh, wow.
looks like they just parked it and they're not actually doing anything with it, or they it's in what we call grace period. It's expired
Uh-huh.
and they haven't done anything with it.
Ah,
Right?
okay.
They haven't renewed it yet. It's in a grace period. Think insurance. Like when you have insurance and you don't pay it, it goes into that grace period where you can still
Yep.
pay and be covered. Same thing applies to a domain, but they've parked
Okay.
it. It's very clear that it's parked, which is really
Right.
weird. Um,
Yeah.
but here's the point: appliance is in the name. Ray's Appliance is actually in the name. So Ray's Appliance, and you go back to Google Ads real quick.
Yep.
Take a look. Ray's Appliance, and you've got appliance repair. So that's probably why that got triggered. Now Davis Appliance and the appliance repair. Take a look and see if you can find Davis Appliance on Google, and let's take a look and see what that website looks like.
Augusta. No, that can't be
That's
it.
not them. Yeah, Davis Appliance, Illinois. Just IL.
Uh,
You'll find something.
That's Rockford. I don't think they're going that far. Huh.
That's
That's
weird.
really weird. Yeah. Because I did the locations the way I was supposed to. I mean, Rockford, I
Is the
guess,
name of the county Davis?
uh, I think so. Might be. Yeah, because,
Look up Davis County, Illinois. Oh, it's Iowa. Did you see how the Google suggests? I think
oh
it's
yeah, it's
Iowa.
starting to suggest it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I've
Davis
never even
County.
heard of this
Is that
place.
is that not where you're targeting?
No, because we're like right here.
I see. Yeah, that's way the hell away.
They're way
So
the hell
they're
out of there.
yeah, so they're looking for something that's not. So that would probably be a negative keyword, right?
Yeah.
I would also type in a lot of other cities around the area:
Uh-huh.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Riverside, Centerville, all that kind of
As
shit.
far as you mean for the locations?
Yeah, and negatives. I would use those as negative keywords, right? The
Oh,
operative
okay.
words and negatives. Just so that no one typing in Davis or no one typing in Centerville or Cedar Rapids or any of those things, right,
Rabbits.
would show up.
Right.
My I don't want my ad showing up to those people typing that kind of stuff in,
Well, see,
right?
this is the thing though, like their service area is pretty freaking huge.
That's
Cause
fine.
like I'll
That's
show
fine.
you like
I'm
the
just saying
locations.
you don't want Davis to show
Right.
Davis
So
County, right?
what I'm getting to is though, would you go outside of that service area and start typing in native keywords for that stuff, or that's what I'm
Absolutely.
trying to.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally, you can do exclude as location. I mean, you can do that, but we were looking on the search term screen. So we're worried at this point, at this level, we're worried about what people are typing in, right? And
Right.
anytime somebody, you might have excluded Davis County, for example, here
Right.
from locations. You can actually exclude it on locations,
Yep.
right? But does
Yep.
that keep somebody from typing it in and still seeing your ad? No, it does not.
No.
See what I'm saying? Because
No.
they did that does.
Yeah.
What if they're outside of Davis County, but that's what they typed in was Davis County? Maybe they live in the next
Right.
county over,
Which is
and
exactly what happened.
all right. So
Like,
okay, so you're getting the idea now. It's
okay.
multi-tiered so when we optimize a campaign on an ad copy level, we do it for the topic. And then when we optimize the campaign on the keyword level, we do it for the three main types, right? We've got it very systemized to where your campaign should be dialing itself in here with your help on multiple levels, right? Most people focus on
Right.
bids and ad copy, and while ad copy is the primary focus, bids not, at least initially. You've got a lot of work that can be done on keywords, on intent, on expanding out, on negatives. So many things that can um, make your $30 go a lot further,
Right.
if that
I
makes
see that.
sense. Yeah.
No, it does. Totally.
Okay. Cool.
Definitely.
So the other thing I'd like to look at is your ad copy. We kind of covered the search
Yep.
terms there pretty well.
Yep.
Um, so let's take a look at your ads. Well, you said you only had three ads. I explained to you the split test, but I
Per,
want to,
per
but
group. Yeah.
yeah, but I want to see, I want to see what you're doing based on this. Let's take a look and see what got the conversion. This is always going to be very helpful. If you don't have conversions yet, for you folks out there, you can always sort by clicks as well if you don't have conversions. But here you can see the ad that drove it was your dynamic keyword insertion ad. And it
Yep.
was 11% click through rate, which is pretty fucking good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
And and your here's the thing though, you've got 4 clicks on it. Now, does that mean it's the ad copy's fault or is it the keyword intent?
I would say keyword intent.
Right, but do you know it just by looking at your ad copy? Like if you came in here and just looked at the ad copy level, you'd be like, man, that ad sucks. It's got a great
Yeah.
click through rate, but it's 4 clicks and 1 conversion, right?
The reason why I'm saying that is because it's a dynamic keyword insertion, so I'm assuming that it's the
Oh, it's
keyword.
definitely the keywords, yeah. So my
Yep.
point is though, even if it was a set ad, like okay, scroll down just a little bit. Let's take a look at the next
Yeah.
ad copy there. You've got 0 click, 0 click. Is there anything that's got clicks on it that does not have a conversion?
I think so.
Yeah, there you go. So like, there's one. $17 you've spent on that, and notice how it's not a dynamic, right? It's not a dynamic keyword insertion ad. Look at it. It's not a bad ad. So it's you see how it can get easy to be confused. It's easy to get confused on where the optimization is needed. That's why I teach you to systemize it. So every time I evaluate a campaign, the first thing I do is come in and check settings. If you've already done that a couple times yourself, and I just did that with you, and everything's on the up and up, then you don't have to worry about that so much, right? The reason I check the settings is because, man, if my campaign's running and it's producing some whack results or not what I expected, call recording wise or qualified call, and I go in and I see the settings are off, guess what the problem most likely is?
Settings.
Right, and I can't move on to the next level of anything until I know those are 100%, and I'm going to have to run more data with the new settings in place in order to verify exactly to really see if that was the issue. And if there's still an issue, then I know at least it's not the settings anymore, right?
Right.
And you just work your way. It's kind of like
I like the idiom used with the clog.
Yeah, I was going to say the clog pipe. You know, oil pipes. Did you know they have those rigs that can bigger pipelines that can? Well, have you seen James Bond 007? Which one was that? The World Is Not Enough.
Man, long time
ago. Okay, so they have this huge pipeline, and they've got these rigs that can travel down the pipeline, like they actually travel down inside of the pipe, and it's a rig. It's just it's pretty cool. You should look it up. It's got Denise Richards in it anyway. Totally worth your time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's from back in the day. So and it was those rigs are designed to travel the pipeline and look for cracks or holes. Right. In our example, we could use that as clogs. Look for clogs as opposed to cracks or holes. And so, as a pipe inspector, you don't evaluate the entire pipeline all at once, do you? No. You evaluate it piece by piece, right, or section by section. Same kind of thing with the sales process. What you're talking about with the pipeline and everything. That's 100% accurate. Same thing applies here to the ad campaign. So the first potential problem point in our pipeline for the campaign is going to be what? Settings, obviously. You got to make sure the campaign's set right, that you start off on the right foot, like high intent keywords. Make sure that you're dialed in on your ad groups and segmenting, true split test on your ad copy, and that's all part of your settings, by the way. And then come in and check the actual settings like we did. Everything looked good, so not gonna cover that too much. It's pretty straightforward. From there, it comes down to actually the next thing you look at is going to be for optimizing the campaign. So that's when you get into looking at your bids, looking at your overall data from like a higher level. So from like a campaign level, an ad group level, and then diving into each piece where you've got from campaign level, you've got keywords, and then you've got search terms. You've got your 3 things to do there, right? On basic optimization, you've got your winning keywords to do, your negative keywords to do, keyword ideas to do. Okay, and then you've got your ad copy. Got to go into your ad copy and tweak that, right?
Right.
Now, if you focus on each piece of that, when you come in to look at this ad copy, do you really have to guess or wonder as to why you're not getting the actual desired result? No, you do not, right?
Because I can already know right now, just from looking at the keyword level prior to this, that the reason why this isn't the greatest is because the keyword was the appliance repair, and then the appliance repair was triggering this.
It's just lowest. It's not lowest. It's lower intent than what we want to start with. That's all.
Right.
That's it. And by the way, that's an easy fucking fix. Easy fix.
Right.
So here's the thing, though. Would you know that without your data?
No.
No. Now I'm helping you think of me as your guide to helping you read and understand this as a language.
Oh yeah.
You've definitely got the basics, and so now you're learning like what we call level 3 of a language, where you're able to basically navigate around and ask for directions, like not get lost completely. So that's good. The other thing I want to check inside of ads, did you do any extensions, like any call out extensions or anything?
No.
Over to
Did
the
I?
over to the
I
left.
can't remember if I
Yeah.
did or not. I don't think I screwed with that yet.
Yeah, definitely want to do some call outs.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on that section. I think I got distracted on the
That's okay.
what the hell's going on here? Leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know you had used in the training, the ad campaign said there was like three different ones you had used. It was like the
Call extension, call out,
it was like
and
brands and stuff like that.
yeah.
Because that's one I was going to use since I'm an appliance repair, so I can use cloud extensions for the brands. That was something I was going to do.
I would use it for qualifiers, but that's when
For
you actually
qualifiers.
that's when you get an actual client. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As a client, it's harder. I mean, not impossible, but more difficult for you. You'd have to go to their website and see that they've been in business for 30 years, or that they only service all of Davis County, or
Right.
things like that as qualifiers, right?
Yeah, I did look at the website. It was a same day and next day
Okay,
service.
those are things that you could use as call outs, absolutely.
Uh,
And those would be actually for appliance repair. Those would need to be probably in your headlines. Not a bad thing to split test.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, especially for like general appliance repair, the general group, ad group. It'd be a
Yep,
good
yep.
good place to test that. Hint, hint, wink,
Okay.
wink.
Wink, wink.
Yep. Okay, so everything else is looking good. I mean, there's nothing else to really
Okay.
talk. Are there any questions that you have for me about this whole process and kind of how I break down a campaign? By the way, for everyone listening as well, Brandon, this is exactly how I go through a campaign. I don't ever, if somebody else were to come on this call today, or the next call 2 weeks from now, or 2 years from now, unless this platform completely changes, I'm going to evaluate the campaign every time the same way. I'm not going to look at your ad copy until I've done what? Looked at your settings and verified that your shit is straight, right? Because that could be the problem out of the gate before we even take a look at your ad copy, right?
Right.
So, and by the way, there were a couple of things for us to fix and to work on,
Yep.
but we would not have known that had we not gone through step by step, right? And now you've got your data that's telling you exactly what I teach you, right?
Yep.
You've got your data is actually showing you and teaching you, as opposed to just me now. And
Telling the story.
you would not have that, exactly. You would not have that story unless you had gone out and done the work. So good on you for doing the work, dude. Very proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
You are steps away from, what I'd like to do is, what are your next steps? What are you
Well, my
working on
steps
next?
is well, obviously I'm gonna get back in here and optimize get the shit out of here that I threw on the board.
Okay,
And,
step one. Step one. That's
step
okay.
one.
Hey, no. It's not your mistake. It's just learning lesson, dude. And by the way, you don't even have an actual client yet, right? So
Right,
how much did
right.
this really cost you? $30? Dude, that's a
Yeah,
cheap
30
fucking
bucks.
lesson. Cheap lesson.
Which I do have a little bit of data or KPI or whatever the hell you would call it to look at, because I have been making some cold calls, because I am like super bootstrapping. Probably this Thursday when I get paid again, because COVID had really affected my job.
Oh, damn.
I'm gonna start doing the client blitz.
Oh, nice.
Get that set up. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I was making cold calls, and I sent a couple emails. A couple of them were just like, well, if you could just send us information. I'm like, oh, okay, I could do that. So I kind of like slapped together a little video thing to just kind of explain. But I actually have to follow up with them today. So
That's one of those
yeah,
things where anytime, by the way, this is just my rule of thumb, but you can feel free to adopt it. I would.
I will.
If I email somebody and they email me back, the next form of communication I use is a phone call.
phone call.
Yeah, I've got an open door and an excuse to talk to you direct, face to face,
Yeah.
or at least voice to voice, which is just as good in COVID world as face to face. I don't know if you guys realize that or not. The dynamic has definitely shifted, and I don't know for how long, or if it's a permanent shift, if it's temporary, extended. I just know that it has shifted, and what I mean by that is, what's the best way to do business with a client of any kind in any agency? not just pay per call, but any agency, what's the best way to do business with a client?
I mean,
Face to face, right?
yeah.
Like in person, face to
Right.
face. Like if you and I were sitting down across from each other, face to face, that'd be
The trust
the
factor is higher from the get-go
absolutely,
doing it that way.
absolutely. Plus, like I can show you stuff, and it's I don't know, there's just something about that human connection that is top tier, right? Okay,
Right.
what's second best?
I guess phone call.
The phone call, right? The phone call. It always has been, right? And then what's third best?
Probably text. if
Right.
you
Anything written, email,
Yeah.
actual letters. I don't know if people still send letters via the U.S. mail or not, but anything written, right? Text messages, even, right? Voicemail recordings, those kind of things. Those are all considered like that third tier. Now, here's what's interesting. We've had access to things like Zoom and GoToWebinar, and Jesus, there's so many different services out there for video screen sharing. Join Me. I mean, this shit's been around for maybe at least a decade, but maybe longer,
Yeah.
like maybe two. But
Yeah.
definitely popular amongst a lot of people, not everybody, but a large amount of people. Now, with COVID, everybody knows about this. Why does everybody know about this? Because it is supplanted or taken place of the face-to-face. Like right now,
Face-to-face,
this
yeah.
is considered face-to-face.
Right.
You and me right now are having, and it's totally shifted the dynamic, because this used to be somewhere in between tier-wise face-to-face and phone. So this is kind of like right there in the middle, and is kind of bumped off face
Kind
to
of
face.
expected now.
It's
As a
expected.
normal-
If you're going to do face to face, this is it right here. So I'm not saying that a Zoom is the best or the only way to do prospecting or anything like that, or any kind of sales calls. However,
Good idea.
it's a
Shit.
damn good idea to offer it, at least, or because
Putting it right now.
if they exactly, it's top of mind awareness. They understand what it is. They and plus for them, it's an opportunity to actually be able to see you and be like, okay, that dude's fucking, he's
He's
legit.
not from India. No
Right.
offense to people
He's-
from India, but
yeah,
he's
he's
getting bombarded with
right.
scam calls. And,
Well, yeah, exactly. They're going to be able to see your background. It's not about being from India more than it is the idea of like being from a call center, or,
Yeah.
you don't see me with like a headset and like in a cubicle, and
Yeah.
people walking in the background. You see my bookshelf and you realize, okay, this dude works from the house. Okay, I got it. I understand who I'm talking to. And I don't know. It's something about putting a face with a voice helps no matter what. And something like Zoom definitely helps that face-to-face interaction. It's one of the reasons why I love the one-on-one stuff. It's also why we've been
Yeah.
doing it for years, because there's something that you retain. It's as good as I can get without actually traveling my ass to wherever you're at physically, which I've also done in the past. But this is second best, right? It's that next level down. So now, though, it's not just a Ring Ads thing or our thing. It's everybody knows about this shit because of COVID. So we gotta we don't have to, but it would be silly of us not to take advantage of it, in my mind, and at least offer it. It's not like you're going to offer it on every call, but for me, what I would do is at least jump on the phone right away. You always want to graduate to the next level of communication. So if you open the door by responding to me via email at that lowest tier, I'm going to up the stakes and call you. And that shows you right out of the gate that I'm serious. I'm legitimate enough to actually jump on the phone with you. I'm not scared to jump on the phone with you. That's an important thing. I'm not hiding behind my computer or my email or anything like that, right? There's a lot that's to be said about that. And then, you know what? Let's just jump on a Zoom because I want to show you the back office, for example. Screen share showing the back office. It's like, damn, this guy's got his shit together. Look at this platform, right?
That was the main reason why, too. I was trying to do this client thing and get calls generating because I was going to leverage that with my outreach as well, and also be able to take people in the back office if they wanted, because I think that's a great selling point, is the fact you have such a clean, simple back office for them to go in and have that hands-on
absolutely
in the process. I think that's really cool. That's why I was trying to get something for them to look at, and so.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
and also getting my feet wet instead of just like,
Dude, you definitely
figuring
did.
out.
Good job.
Yeah.
You really did. I'm very proud of you. You've done very well.
Yeah.
Um, any other questions that you have for me at this point about?
Yeah, just yeah. So next steps, obviously, optimize the things I should have done from the jump, and
Yep.
then I'm going to start doing continue with the client outreach. The one thing I did want to cover, and I apologize, I
That's
swear to God, I'll
okay.
never ask this again. Uh, for I'm actually writing it down physically. I need
Okay.
to start doing that more. When I'm creating a winning ad group for the winning keywords,
Yes.
you had said that there's if it's 3 words. I remember there was
Oh,
if
the
I do
broad match
remember there's
modified rule. It's called the broad match
yeah.
modified rule. Okay.
I'm writing this down.
Yep. Which, by
Okay.
the way, that is by far. I know it's old school for all of you who don't like to write shit down. I'm actually not a big fan of writing stuff down, but the reason I force myself to do so whenever someone that I am learning from is talking or teaching me, even on you know those like training series like online digital information, they've got training videos and stuff similar to what I do, but maybe for a different topic like Facebook ads or I still have notepad and pen and I'm still taking notes as if I'm sitting at a conference or something. And the reason I do that, guys, is because I want to maximize my time the most, right? Because I don't want to be that guy that didn't retain as much. And it's scientifically proven that we as humans, all of us, retain the most percentage wise when we write shit down. 100%. Notice how, remember I was talking about why, let me write this topic down so I don't forget to talk to you about it, because I still am going to talk to you about it after you're done asking your questions. Because I did not want to, I wanted 100% retention or as much as I could get to make sure that I deliver that message to you, because it's that important to me, right? I'm not saying that you have to be me, but I'm saying that you have to care that much about it in order to get the same amount of juice for your squeeze that I get or similar. You got to do what I'm doing, which is exactly.
Yep.
So I have no problem you writing stuff down.
Okay.
I encourage
So
it. Broad match modified rule. Yeah, broad match modified rule. So here it is. If it's 3, so write down 3 or more. 3 or more. Got to work on my accent. 3 or more. You're gonna do. Why am I blanking? 3 or more is nothing.
Nothing.
I'm sorry. 4 or more. 4 or more. 4 or more. 3 or less. I don't know why I blanked on that. 4 or more is broad. 4 or more equals broad. 3 or less equals broad match modified. And then write down an example keyword. So let's use an example keyword. Appliance repair service. And then write down another keyword under that. Appliance repair service near me. Okay. And then appliance repair service next to that one. That's equals 3. Right? Because that's 3 words in the keyword. Which means plus appliance, plus repair, plus service. Just so you have the example fully written out. And then on the one below it, obviously if it's 4 or more, appliance repair near me, that's 4. That's going to be broad. It's left equals broad. Leave it the same. There's no changes. There's no pluses or nothing because it's broad.
So when I put that in a new keyword, because it
Yeah. So on the ad group level, yeah. So for a winning keyword, so write this down underneath that. That was the broad match modified rule, right? That's the rule. Okay. Now, for winning keywords, this is what you want to write down. So write down winning keywords, and then under that as a subheading or title, you're going to write down, I think it's because I'm trying to visualize what you're writing. So winning keywords, and then under that you're going to have the keyword as is, goes into the ad group. Okay? So, and then use the example appliance repair and appliance repair near me. appliance repair service, appliance repair near me, right? And that's 3 and 4. Gives you the example. Same example as above from the broad match modified rule.
Yep.
But 2 different keywords, so 2 different converting keywords. That's 2 different ad groups for this.
Right.
Okay. So winning keywords, each keyword goes in. Each keyword that actually converted into a qualified call. Keep in mind, not a click, not a conversion on Google Ads, but a qualified call. It's solid gold, right? That's what gets the special treatment. Okay, so you take that and then you look at the different versions that need to go in. There's either 3 or 4 versions of the keyword, right? You're always going to have the original version, no matter what, which is what we which is broad, by the way, because I don't teach you to do broad match modified out of the gate.
Is the new way now.
Right, yeah.
Right.
So broad is definitely in there.
Yep.
All right. Phrase and exact, those are definitely in there. So those 3 are always going to be there, right?
No matter what.
No matter what. And then if it's broad match modified based on the rule, you're going to add that in. You're going to keep the broad. So that would be 4 versions. You follow? Okay, so you'd have in one ad group you could have so the example we gave was appliance repair service. That one's 3. So in that one we would have how many versions?
That would be 4.
That's correct, 4. Very good. And then the other one, which is appliance repair near me, that would have 3. Broad, phrase, and exact. No broad match modified. And then the other one, since it has 3, so that's why it's important for you to know the rule and definitely have that written down. Definitely a good practice.
Sweet.
Listen,
thank you,
folks. This is not just for Brandon. It's for everybody. I'm not saying everything I write down. I'm not saying I ship gold nuggets. Okay. I'm not saying everything I say is something you should write down. But I'll tell you something. Short of me talking about the weather or bullshitting about Bama, Roll Tide, or something that's clearly off topic, I guarantee you if somebody's asking a question or getting an answer or I'm showing you something, it's something you want to pay attention to in this business, or write down in this case, as we're doing. So if you or mark down, you know what, if I were taking notes, for example, on this session, I would have taken notes that at minute such and such, and I'd be looking at my clock. I wouldn't necessarily have me on a stopwatch, but I'd be looking at my clock and go, at 12:15, he started working with someone on their ad campaigns, right? And then inside of that, there'd be subheadings where we covered, he being me, where we covered the settings, and then he went through and did this, and he went through and did that, and then when we broke away and looked at ring ads, it's like, okay, that's a subheading, ring ads, and then there was that function about copying a campaign and that whole strategy. There's so many. I mean, everything we talked about today, Brandon, is like, right? It's gold. You got to use it, got to know it. You don't have to, I guess, but man, it's going to make life a hell of a lot easier. Now, for you,
let's say, man, I owe you a steak dinner, man.
Nah, man, no.
Dude,
you listen.
God,
you keep doing what you keep
unreal.
doing. I'm telling you, you keep doing what you're doing. You produce the results. That's enough payment for me, dude. I promise you. I promise you. You keep working hard. You're gonna get to where you want to go, and I can tell. Sometimes you can just tell about people and their drive and what's on their mind and where they're headed. And I'm excited for you, right?
I'm excited.
That's what I was going to tell you is, well, actually, do you have any other questions before I get to this point? That was it. Okay. So one thing I will note here for everybody, and this is something I noted on yesterday's mentorship call, is accountability is huge. Now, not everybody is able to mentally come onto a session live like you have, Brandon, and you've done it consistently too, by the way, as much as can be allowed. I understand that schedules and work and all that kind of stuff can get in the way, and you're not going to be able to attend every session. But the idea is
3 hours right now sleep, so I'm like, dude, I got to do it.
Well, you know what? Here's crazy. Here's what's crazy. You're not going to have to. You don't have like. You're not completely clueless on this stuff. You know what you're doing, more or less, and I'm telling you straight up that the changes I've given you to make are going to make a huge difference out of the gate for you, and you're continuing your setup. You're going to be ready to go on the blitz. I mean, there's no doubt in my
Oh, yeah.
mind. So,
Sweet.
yeah, I'm excited for you, dude. It's I'd say for you, the light's at the end of the tunnel if you keep moving. I'll tell you
I'm
that.
rolling, man. Doing whatever I gotta do.
Now, here's the thing. Not everybody. I asked this question yesterday in the mentorship, and it turns out people feel bad, or they're embarrassed, or they don't want to be put on public blast or something. There's so many different feelings, and well, I don't want to waste your time because I'm not. I didn't do what I feel like I needed to do. Is where people are at, and if you've ever had that feeling, even for people who do come onto the live part of the call for Zoom, I'll tell you this, guys. I'm never gonna just beat the shit out of you for something like that. I'm never gonna be judgy. That's not something I do. Did you ever hear me, Brandon? Have you ever heard me say to you or like anybody else, like, yo, man, you just need to go back and study before we talk? No. Anytime you ask me a question, what's the first thing I do?
Um, I'm sorry. I'm just my
That's
like what
okay.
you asked me.
Anytime you ask me a question, what's the first thing I do? The very first thing I
You
do.
you 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 yeah, you go over it with
I
me. I
give you
mean,
the
you
answer.
say what's going
I
on.
give you
Yeah,
the answer. Now, what if
yeah.
that question, here's the thing. I know the business inside and out, right? What if that question is clearly not related to what you need to do today to get the results? What do I
I
do
mean, I'm
then?
pretty.
Do I answer the question right away?
You help me walk through it, but you don't just give me the
Oh, no,
answer right
no.
away.
No, no. I'll give you the answer. My point is I help you arrive at the answer even if I'm teaching you how to
Well,
do it
yeah.
yourself.
That's what I meant. You help me get to the answer.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing. I say most people, a lot of people, even ones right now listening to this call, here's the thing. They will ask a question that has to do with, I'll give you an example. They don't have any clients at this stage. They're maybe right at the stage of prospecting, but they haven't gotten that far, like actual prospecting yet. And they're asking questions about hiring the ad campaign manager. You know what I'm saying? Like
Putting the cart before the
it's
horse.
exactly, it's like step number 692, and we're on like step
Gotta
8.
worry about
You know what
that.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it's not a valid question. So anytime a question is asked, I'm gonna answer it. I'm gonna, if somebody's got a question about hiring an ads manager or ad campaign manager, I'm gonna answer that question first. No ifs, ands, or buts. No jumping around it. I'm gonna answer the question because that's where I come from and how I was raised. If somebody asks you a question, you give them an answer. And in the military, it was if you're asked a question, you give a direct answer. So I do my best to give it as much of a. Sometimes it needs a little bit of a preface in order for the answer to make sense, or the most. But I always go straight for the answer, right? Then I explain to them, okay, that has nothing to do with what you're on right now, and not that that's unimportant. It's just something that you're going to figure out the answer to most likely without my help if you
Right.
focus on step 8. Not
Right.
692. So
Right.
and it might be a little bit more difficult for you, which is a good thing right now with where you're at because you're so focused and dialed in on step 8, step 9, step 10. You're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. That's exactly what needs to be done. But for those other people who maybe are timid or afraid to come on the call, don't be. I'm going to answer your question.
Change. What's that phrase? Change happens when you get out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think you're the most recent example of that. You're not the first, you're not the last. I guarantee it. But I guarantee you this: you're definitely a great example of it because you didn't wait. You went, you did something, and it's like, okay, a couple of course corrections. Here you go. That's what I'm here for, by the way, dude. Is to help you, just keep you between the
Thank
lines.
you.
You know what I mean? Keep it
Yeah.
between the lines and keep it moving down the road. And you've done a very good job of pretty much staying on the road, man. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't need any help. I'm just saying that the help you needed was very, very minimal, considering you and I haven't even covered one-on-one account campaign creation or anything. So good on you for that. Just go back and work on your stuff that you need to work on. Continue on with your for campaigns. Continue on with your setup for prospecting and schedule your blitz, man. You know.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
Then
And
later, I definitely want to get, like you had said, growing with you. I want to get into the mentorship too. Definitely. For
yeah,
sure,
it's
man.
well. Again, I'm still working on setting up the monthly option for that, but that is coming. That is coming for sure. And I appreciate that. You know as well as anybody. I don't tell people to jump straight into the mentorship. Some people do choose to do that, but I like the idea of someone who bootstraps their way and earns their way there. For many reasons, but one of which is it doesn't cost you hardly any money on my end to work with me and learn from me to produce the results that before we even start down the path on mentorship, you're actually able to provide for your family, or at least provide some kind of alternate income, right? A different income
Right.
stream, and that actually means a lot to me because working with people at a higher level like that in the mentorship where they're actually making money already, doing what I teach, really invests and commits you to the process. Because I'll tell you right now, the call I did yesterday was 3.5 hours. You know,
Wow.
I don't fuck around on those calls. And those are
That's
one-on-one, you know, a lot like what we do here, actually. And it's not like I'm holding anything back from you on these calls.
No.
I'm going to give you everything. But at the same time, you get that once a week inside the mentorship. I mean, that's kind of valuable there.
Yeah, that's super valuable.
Right. So there's there's many other reasons why, but I don't want people spending a crap ton of money with me before they've made money with me first. And I've kind of flipped the script on that. It used to not be that way in the industry, and I feel like it should be. I feel like it should be. So I'm making the change. I'm being the change that I want to see, I guess. But accountability
There's
is
nothing else out there like this, man, at all. Period.
appreciate
I
that.
mean, even this right here is just unbelievable.
Appreciate
The
that.
fact that you just amount of value you give away.
I appreciate that,
Freaking
man. But I'll tell you something. The reason it's as valuable as it is to you and will become more valuable as time goes on is because of your accountability. You know, for those of you who are a little bit reserved or don't want to come on to the live call, there's no shame in that, no judgment in that, but understand you've got to be accountable to somebody. And in this business model, I'm not going to be the one who beats the shit out of you or judges you for things. I'm gonna welcome you with open arms and answer your questions, even if they're not directly on point or on target. If it's about the pay-per-call business, I'm going to answer those questions directly, and then help you get back on the road, because that's my ultimate goal. And I've seen a lot of examples of that where people are afraid to engage with me because of that, or because they felt like they didn't do enough. And all I ask you to do is just work consistently, show up, which, Brandon, you're doing plenty of, and that's why I know you're going to succeed. I mean, it tells me everything I need to know about you and what you're going to do. And so, yeah, I'm not saying be like Brandon, but wouldn't be a bad way to go for you folks out there listening right now or tuning in. He's got his head on straight in terms of what he's doing. And by the way, did he feel like that at the beginning of this call? Maybe not as much, because he said, "Oh, I'm overwhelmed. I've learned all this shit and I don't know what to do with it." But then we sit down on a call, now that you've gone through that knowledge, right? Or at least like that initial learning curve, we sit down on a call and I've simplified it for you to where you should be able to be like, "Oh shit, you know, all I got to do is this, and this in that order, and do that every many days, and I'm good. I'm golden." So good on you, dude. Good on you. All right. That's all I wanted to share with you is about the accountability. And by the way, it's not just for everybody else listening. It's not just about jumping on live calls. That's not the only way you can be accountable. You can post in the group. I'm doing a little bit better about approving posts faster. I think I've got some pending right now. Actually, I say that, and then I've got some pending posts. But things are going to get better on that front. The point is, you can actually share those progress updates. And what's a progress update? A lot of people think that's a client. A lot of people wait to post something until they have a client to post about, and it's like, yeah, those are great posts, but that's not the first inspection point of the pipeline, right? The first inspection point is going to be setting up your ad site, setting up your Ring Ads account, setting up for a prospect blitz, all these different things that you can engage with us. I mean, here's the thing, that's okay. The more you explain where you're at in the process, or anything that you're getting hung up on, the more I'm going to be able to help you with whatever that is, right? And it could be anything from client acquisition to campaigns to the scaling side of the business. Could be anything. And that engagement is not to be undervalued. It's very valuable, not just to me, but to you. Everybody's pulls value from that. Seeing, you know how many times I've had and this is on a personal level, how many times I've had a shitty day or I'm getting stuff done, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just something about the day. It's just horrible. And today's not one of those, but I've had those days. I'm human. We all have those days. And then I go into Facebook. Now, keep in mind, my Facebook is very cultivated. Like I'm very proactive about who I follow, who I don't. I have like 100 and something friends. Okay, most people. I used to have like 3,000 or 4,000. I got rid of all of those, not because they're unimportant to me, but because I didn't want to follow everybody under the sun or see updates from people I don't even know. Right? I want to see updates from people that I know are going to be uplifting or put me in the right space, like Tony Robbins or Marcy Locke or Shannon Graham or Kevin Nations and all these mentors of mine. So like not just people I know on a personal level. Exactly. You do something like that. A few minutes every day. You go in. You optimize your Facebook profile, and as you scroll through your newsfeed, guess what you get? Nothing but good shit, dude. I'm the happiest camper ever after I come off of Facebook, and that's how the experience should be. By the way, it's tailored to what I'm looking for. And what's funny is I'll see an advertisement for this new cool marketing product or new cool analytics software, and I'm like, cool, bookmark it, save it, put it off to the side, and then I scroll a little bit more, and then I see something from my mentor, and I'm like, damn, I really needed to hear that today. That's awesome. And I'm feeling really, that's how your experience on Facebook should be. For example, if you were in the business of the health industry, let's say you were in the health industry, fitness industry, and you cultivated your Facebook feed to show you and feedback, that kind of stuff, you would see other people's fitness products and promotions, ads for those, right? And then you would see posts from your mentors that helped you get fit or helped you maintain your fitness or taught you something and see something uplifting as you scroll through your newsfeed. But not if you don't take a proactive interest in actually optimizing the profile. And for a lot of you, I know, or a good amount of you, Facebook is not something you spend a lot of time on anymore. And I totally get why. It's because it was uncultivated. It wasn't curated content. I like to curate my own content based on what I know about people. You know what I mean? I only follow the people that I know are going to say some good shit. Because the last thing I want, we all have this friend, by the way. We all have this friend who constantly posts some shit about, or like reposts links from the news or some like negative shit, right? Or bitches about like family members, drama and this and that. And it's like, and by the way, these could be people you love. Nothing against them whatsoever. But I can't have that shit in my life, right? And if I'm feeling shitty, exactly, if I'm feeling shitty, I need a place to go that's not really a sanctuary, but very, very close to it. I mean, could you imagine if you had like 5 mentors and then you went and followed them all on Facebook and made sure you liked all their pages and were part of their groups, you would see all that content from them, right? Eventually, Facebook would start showing you more and more and more of that. Could you imagine being able to talk to all 5 of your? Let's say you had 5. Could you imagine talking to all 5 of them in a single day? All of your mentors? It actually would be a little bit of a stretch, because those conversations would not necessarily be the shortest, right? And you might not catch them the first time you call, right? That whole thing. Whereas Facebook is going to curate everything that they post for you. And you could hear from all 5 of them the message you need to hear, short and sweet. Even if it's in a long post form, it takes you 2 minutes, 3 minutes to read it. It's not a 10-minute, 15-minute phone call, right? There's a lot of value to curating that way, I find, for my own personal sanity and benefit. And benefit. So I highly recommend doing that. I've my security settings and all that stuff. I don't get messages from outside people on Facebook. I don't block people. I block out all of the potential for the shit out there, the drama. The ability, though, to follow me is there, right? I have a public page. I've got a Ring Ads page. You can follow those, right? I've got a profile. You can follow any of those. And so anytime I choose to post something, I'm gonna make sure it's of value. I'm not gonna just post up some bullshit about family drama. I don't do that. I don't post up pictures of what I eat all the time. Right? Occasionally you'll catch me posting up pictures of me hanging out with some friends, because I don't hang out as often as maybe other people do. Like, I'm not a weekend warrior. I tend to love my work and work a lot, and so this is my life. If anything, I've shared images and videos from calls like this, on my profile. So valuable stuff, but take it from me, like it's super easy to do, and Facebook's algorithm learns so fast on what you want and when you want it. Like it knows. I think I've already talked about this before, but I'll tell you guys again. It knows my personal habits. It knows when I wake up in the morning, and it's not the very first thing I do, but when I wake up in the morning and I happen to be on Facebook and I'm scrolling through the news feed, it's going to show me ads specifically for marketing technology and products. I don't see ads for weight loss and fitness and I don't know what else could be for anything like e-com based. I don't see ads for anything e-com or anything like that, right? I see ads for marketing technology, so new mailing services, new software, new SaaS, all that kind of stuff. And later in the day, when I'm on Facebook, if I'm on Facebook later in the day, it's not going to show me the exact same thing. It's going to show me a little bit different, more marketing strategy actually. It's so weird that Facebook has figured out when to show me and what to show me based on my habits, my searching habits, my Facebook habits, if you will. And it's curated the ad side of the content. So they're doing it. I might as well do it on a personal level for all the content for me, so that I keep a good head on my shoulders. Super
the
valuable.
only reason why I haven't deleted Facebook thus far is just for your group, because
I've heard that before. And I appreciate that. But I'll tell you something. Facebook is far more valuable than you realize, though. Really? It's an app. Well, you want to keep your account because you're going to use the ad platform eventually. I'm going to teach you how to do that.
Yeah, I do have a business manager set up. I just
good.
I have like 5 ad accounts back there.
Good. So they're ready to go. We're going to be covering stuff like that for sure. And now you know how to make it even more valuable for yourself. And it's totally customized and tailored to what Brandon wants. You know what I mean? So you'll see stuff from me in there. You'll see stuff from other people that you follow or want to follow. Right? It's gonna be a good experience for you and for anybody else listening that can tailor their content that way.
Okay.
All right, my man.
All right, man. Well, I'll give it over to Michael. I think he's been waiting.
Yeah. That's okay. Hey, we covered a lot of good
But hey,
stuff, so that's what it's all
yeah,
about.
man, bombs, absolute bombs, dude. Thank you so much.
All right,
That
my
was
man. I'll catch you on the next call.
all right, bud.
All
Yep.
right.
Thanks again, man.
Yep. Bye for now, bud.
Yep. Bye bye.
All right, Michael. Let me unmute you here. Oh, you're unmuted. Okay, good.
Yeah, the only question I had, well, a couple of questions. DKI, I
Yes.
talked to AdWords, and they told me we couldn't use them with call-only ads, but I noticed he's running them, and then on the last weekly training, they were using DKI.
Oh yeah. You can definitely use dynamic keyword insertion. Absolutely.
Because they were trying to set them up on, because I said, look, it's not working on my account. She got on my account. They worked on it for over an hour and said it's not going to work on call-only ads. So, I mean, I'll
Okay.
go back and set them up manually and just run it, I guess. And see
I'll
how
tell
it
you. I'll
works.
tell you something about Google, and God bless them. Bless their heart, however you want to say it. That's where I'm from. Bless your heart, right? Bless their heart. I love working with them, but they're not perfect, you know.
Right.
And with their levels of support, here's what you need to understand: unless you're spending enough to have a dedicated ad account manager that's based in the U.S., which they do have different levels of support. They've got people that are outsourced, and then they've got people that are over them or next level up, basically, or maybe even a couple levels up, that are U.S. based. And dedicated account managers come when you're spending, thousands, actually tens of thousands a month. So think more like 30,000 a month total ad spend. So 1,000 a day or more. You'll be in the range of getting a dedicated account manager, and until that time, okay. So between now and that time when that happens, because when that happens, you've got somebody direct access to somebody who knows their ass from a hole in the ground. Is my point.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
that's what I figured out
Yeah.
from the several conversations I've had. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I know more than these people. I'm like, I'm having to tell them where to go, and it's just frustrating.
Yeah, I
But
get it, man. I get it. So yeah, dynamic, definitely. I mean, you've seen it twice now, and I've been using that
Right.
shit for years for call only ads, man. It's a great way to use it. Absolutely.
Now, a little bit to capitalize on what he was talking about,
Sure.
moving a converting keyword, you move it to a totally new campaign, right? You start a whole new campaign, and in that new campaign, you add ad groups, correct?
Not a new campaign anymore. It's the same campaign, same ad campaign, new ad group
Okay.
for the winning keyword.
And do you have, if you have multiple keywords, are they all in separate ad groups, or are they all in one converting?
All in
ad?
separate ad groups. Yep.
Okay.
If you have 10 converting keywords that drove 10 good calls, you're going to have 10 new ad groups inside of that same campaign.
Okay. And then with that, you would have one or two ads for each ad group, or do you just keep testing ads?
No, I would do the true split test, so 5 ads at a time, based on what I talked through with Brandon earlier.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
That's
Good
all I
questions.
had.
Good questions.
Well, I know one more. The one ad group, I just used the mirror. I'm doing HVAC.
Okay.
I used a mirror campaign.
Okay.
And I was thinking about going back and adding, which I haven't had any search terms for it, so I don't know if I will, but
Okay.
brand names, because I noticed we don't have a campaign for like Train
Some yeah.
Carrier.
You're going to find that brand names tend to have a trademark in terms of ad copy. You can use them in terms of targeting as keywords, but in terms of using them in the actual ad copy itself, you're going to run into a lot of challenges with trademarks and infringement and things like that Google
Okay.
they might ping you on. In fact, it's a matter of time before they will,
Okay.
because one of those names, if not all of them, that you just mentioned are going to be trademarked, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I'll
unless
leave
you're
that
so
out.
unless you're a train or someone that's an approved train or carrier brand, not specialist, but certified dealer slash, you know what I'm saying. Those
Right.
guys might be pre-approved with Google Ads, right, to run with the brand name because they're part of or an extension of that brand, whereas we're not. So
Okay.
bidding on those as keywords, no problem, right? Using them in the ad copy, that's going to be your big no-no.
Oh, okay. So I could actually add them as an ad group for the keyword, just not have them as a DKI, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you definitely don't want any dynamic keyword insertion ad for those keywords. And you definitely don't want to have those brand names inside of the ad copy at all, outside of
Okay.
dynamic keyword insertion. Okay.
Would you? Well, would you even really add them if you haven't had any search terms for that? I mean,
Um,
are people really looking? That's what I mean. I don't
you'll
want to just
find you'll
look at
find
them.
some phone calls there. You will.
Okay.
But most people, uh, it's cold air not blowing. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they
Right.
don't even go out and bother to look at the you know what I mean, the brand
Right.
name. I'm that kind of guy that would go out there and be like, well, it's not blowing cold air, but I also know that I can get a jump start on it by saying it's a train model number whatever. Do
Right.
you service it? You know what I mean? Like I'm going to get straight to, you guys know me by now. I'm going to get straight to the point. Do you work on this shit or not, right? And what is it in order to be able to answer that question, or for them to answer that question? I like to go in as prepared as I can, understanding that I may need to rapidly adapt or shift my approach. But most times, or more than not, if I'm prepared enough like that, where I've got the example brand name and model number, I can just call around and find somebody eventually that's going to service that unit, right?
Right.
And when I find that person or that company, then I'm golden, and it's going to be a lot easier for me to do that rather than having the same conversation of, well, I don't know what it is. Can you come out and look at it today, kind of a thing? And then they're going to come back to me and say, well, I ain't got the parts for this, or I can get the parts, but I'm going to have to order it, right? That kind of a thing. Um,
Okay.
I mean, I like to be able to. Again, I'm not the average consumer, though. I wouldn't say. And it's important for you to put yourself in the place of a consumer as an average consumer and what they would do. And the average consumer, your data tells you this over time, but I'll give you the answer here. Uh, most people, it's my shit ain't working. You know,
Right.
um,
Right.
that's just how most people, at least initially, approach the issue. Now, after the first phone call, they might be like, "Damn, I need to go look and see what the brand name and model is, because apparently not everybody services everything." Got it. If I didn't
Right.
already know that, I'm saying, and that's where most consumers start their process. So when you target those names, those brands as keywords, not in your ad copy, but as keywords, that means somebody has either already made a call or they're more like me in terms of how they are as a consumer, meaning they know that the units they have on their house, for example, are all train or they're all carrier or whatever, and that's what they need. You know, they might not necessarily even know the model number, but they know that it's a train. Um, and train's pretty specific, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of who's going to work on that. Uh,
Right. Right.
and so that's a very qualified call if you think about it intent wise.
Now, moving them um, to the AdWord group after they've converted.
Yeah.
Like I started at $5, so I would capture all the conversions there. Then I bumped it to $7, and now I'm on $9. So I'm moving it at each $2 increment. Is that how you do it? The words that convert.
I tend to do $1 increments on the campaign, but for winning keywords, I don't move the bids at all.
Oh, okay, so if it converted at $5, when you put it in the winning ad group, you leave it at 5.
Yep,
Okay.
that's correct. That's correct. Now, later on, as the campaign is dialed in and you've got it running, it's been running for a while, or you've got a lot of clients, and so therefore a lot of data coming back, and your campaigns are dialed in. It's not a bad idea to go in and increase the daily budget, because that's going to allow you to spend more on those winning keywords, obviously,
Right.
since it's different ad groups, right?
Right. Now, I noticed my click-through rate's running around 2.26%. Obviously, that seems sort of low.
No, not for an overall campaign. If you're talking about overall campaign click-through rate, that's not bad.
Okay.
No, it's over 1%. I mean, the
Okay.
thing is, like, you want to look at it as, how do I get it from two? Here's the question you should always be asking yourself in order to get the most out of your campaigns. How do I go from 2.16 to 2.17 and 2.18
Right.
and so on, right? How do I make it better?
Okay.
And you can make it better more than that. I'm just saying. How do I take it from 2 to 3? How do I take it from 3 to 4? Right? And a lot of times it comes down to, especially nowadays, it's going to be ad copy. That's why I highly recommend True Split Test. Keep doing that, and then the 20% increases as the example with simple math. It increases on a compounding level, not added level. Right? It's not 20% increase equals 40. It's actually 20 plus 20 on the 20, which is 44.
Right.
Right.
Right. Now, you mentioned that at some point in Ring ads, they will have you'll know what keyword
Yes.
created the phone call.
Yes.
Is that a good ways out, like a year, or do we know that?
Oh, no. It's not a year out. It's in the well, first off, it's on the what I call the to-do list. It's in development though currently. It's something that I feel like is going to drop this year for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's one of the hardest things figuring
Well,
out.
nobody
that I think.
has it. Nobody has it that I know of. I mean,
I know,
and
like when if I'm looking at a campaign and I'm looking at the phone calls, I'm like, well, did this really generate?
you can if you play detective with it and treat it like it's a game of Clue, you can get pretty good educated guesses. If you do it day by day, data set by data set, and you search Ring ads day by day with Google ads side by side, it's a lot easier, like with two screens, to be able to put the two screens up and have them side by side and go through your data that way. And you can, if you're only driving for that client, for example, 3 calls for that day, and you've got 3 recordings, it's going to be pretty easy for you to narrow down at the very least 1 or 2 of those calls. And if you can get 2 of them, then you know what the third one is, right? So it's not 100% science, but it hasn't been. And so when we add that update in, that feature in, which is part of the Google Ads API, an extension of that, you're going to be able to know with an exact science, and that's not something that anybody else can say.
Right. Yeah, I don't really have any more questions on my campaign. The only other question I had was about the Ring Ads Prime.
Yes.
Is that going, or is there going to be any more updates?
Absolutely. I've got some that are pending, and I just haven't updated them yet. I've been pretty busy with other stuff, but I will. I'll tell you what I told the mentorship about that yesterday, because I had somebody ask me about that. With the updates, I didn't promise any set amount of updates like per month or anything. I know it's paid on a monthly, but here's the thing. It's one of those things where there's going to be some weeks where here lately I've been working on some infrastructure, but once that's set up, then it's going to be much easier for me to make updates more regularly. But there's going to be some weeks where you have more updates than you know what to do with, and then there's going to be some weeks where there's only like 2 or 1, where there's not much for me to do and there's not much for me to talk about. Right now, though, I do have some pending updates. I just haven't posted them yet. I've also got some updates to post inside of Prime and the COVID client challenge for the tracking sheet and the expense sheet, all that stuff that I haven't finished updating yet. So there's a few things that are not missing but pending,
Right.
and I will
I was
definitely
wondering
be.
if, I guess I was thinking about just moving on up to the mentorship level, and that's why I was just wondering if they, because really, I mean, I've run AdWords, not, I guess, not that great at it, but I've been running them for years, so, and
Okay.
I'm just trying to learn more. So, and I was really wanting to see like making sure the setup. I mean, I've watched all the client challenge videos,
Good.
but they're just so long, and then if there's one piece I want to see, just going back to try to find the areas. But now, I mean, if the first time I'd have watched it, if I'd have jotted down the times of when they were talking about different, when different
It would
people
have.
talking
Yeah,
about it,
I got you.
yeah.
Yeah, I know,
Um,
but that's why we have these calls too, dude. I was talking again yesterday, not to keep pointing back to the mentorship because I also do these calls, but I want to make the points that I made there here too because I don't want you to think that I'm hiding stuff back there. Obviously, the mentorship does have access to certain information, but I'm very much an open book too, and it's not like I'm a different person over there than I am here. I promise you that much.
right.
But with what I teach over there, I lost my train of thought. I don't know why I did that. I always do that. We were talking about what now?
We was talking about me moving up. I mean, just learning more about how to set the ads up and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's something else you said though that triggered the response. What I said over there yesterday in the mentorship. What did I say over there? I said a lot of stuff yesterday. It's a 3.5 hour call. Uh, um,
You were talking about updating the COVID stuff. Um, what else?
Man, I lost it. Anyway, I think I think the main thing is that man, I'm totally blank on it. I'm just totally blank. It happens, but usually I'm able to recover and pick up where I left off, thought process wise. It'll come to me. I just can't think of it right this second. Um, da, 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 da.
Because this particular client that I have, he's not paying me per lead. He just pays me a flat $1,000 a month retainer.
A flat fee, okay.
Yeah, so
A flat fee plus ad costs or flat fee?
plus ad costs.
Okay.
Flat
okay.
fee plus ad costs.
Okay.
And but obviously with that comes some expectations. He's not going to. He's wanting his phone to ring, and if it doesn't ring, so.
I got you. Yeah.
And I've had him. I mean, he's been a client of mine off and on now for 3 years. So.
Okay.
He's got a lot of faith in me, so it's not like he's gonna fire me tomorrow without talking to me. But I just always trying to get his ads to the best that we can. So.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, that's
why I was wondering about, because I actually at one point was in the Call Zoo training years ago, and then got out of AdWords altogether, and then now came back. So.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I'll say this. When it comes to I think I know where I was headed with that last point I made. Was I'm not hiding anything over there. I'm not a different person over in those sessions than I am here, and I like to be an open book and share with you guys. Like, there's there are some updates to the training that I'm going to be producing for you guys in the non-mentorship level. Now, I'm not saying that the mentorship's not valuable or anything. It's very valuable. There's a lot to be said about what goes on in those sessions and everything. But there are things that, training or not, if you had all the training in the world from me, it's not going to make as much of a difference as quickly in your business as it would to be able to engage with me more consistently. And it's a conversation that I had with the group, the mentorship yesterday, that I'll have with you guys here. And that is, you'll never not have me. I'm going to expand the sessions that we do. Like, we're not going to just always do twice a month. We're going to start with that, and this was my vision from back in my early days of teaching this. And we had started to expand before I left last year. And the idea is I'll always be on sessions. Not every session, though. So you'll have me twice a month at least, but I'd like there to be us to be able to graduate to trained support staff to be able to do a session a day. Ultimately, I want 5 sessions a week during the day so that you can tap into to our support staff or get questions answered that day as they come up as you progress along in the training or in your business, but still have access to me. Not because I'm the end-all be-all or that I'm some magic voodoo doll or anything, but it's helpful to have the guy who's kind of orchestrated and put it all together and knows it inside and out, every facet of the business. That's going to help you, along with the extended support. And so that's something that I'm going to be doing, not just for the mentorship, but also for this group eventually. I don't have set dates on that or anything, but it's something to look forward to. And it's not something I advertised openly, not because I was hiding it. And I said this again yesterday to the mentorship as well, but it's not something that I'm hiding, but I didn't want to sell something that didn't exist, if that makes sense. Like the training that I teach, yes, it's not currently there yet, so I guess you could say it doesn't exist, but it actually does because of the guides, the part 1 and part 2. So everything that you need is there, plus these calls. It's going to get better and better and better and better as we go. And then, of course, when we drop more sessions, then the added value of even just the free account is just already up there, but it's going to get ridiculous. And that's what I want. I want it to be so ridiculous for you not to make money. The only way you don't make money in this business is that you just don't do it, you know. And when I get you to that level of thinking, and everybody else too, not just you, I'm talking to everybody here, that's when you produce the results, and then that's when the mentorship, for some people, they come in right out of the gate. Like I said, I'm not going to fight you on that, but I always preach and teach, make money, then spend money to make more money, you know. And I'm not asking people to spend money with me up front like that all the time or in massive amounts before they're unless they're trying to supercharge or speed up their results, which, you know, some people are. Again, they come in out of the gate, that's fine, and the door is always open. But I really love something. There's something about the people that earn their way. There really is. I'm not saying that other people aren't special or anything. I'm just saying there's some kind of fire in those people that you just don't see everywhere else. And obviously I appreciate that in those people. And like Brandon's a good example. And you know, if you go back and look at the last few calls we've had, Michael, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when I say Brandon's. He's always present, shows up, throws out exactly what he's doing, what's on his mind, and I do the same, and he progresses that much further. It's really, really cool to see that kind of take shape. And that's it's not the first or not the last, but it's definitely been an interesting evolution of his business already, just out of the gate. So anyway, just wanted to share that. Yeah.
And the overall AdWords business.
Yeah.
What is the average churn rate of a customer that usually comes on board?
Depends on what you have set in place, my man. You know, without any kind of like client engagement or anything I teach, like just pulling in a client, delivering phone calls, and nothing else that I teach, no engagement sequence, no phone calls once a week at least, none of that kind of stuff, no phone call training going above and beyond for your client, your retention rate is going to be about 25-30%. which
Okay.
is absolute shit.
No.
If you implement the engagement sequence, the autoresponder sequence that I'm going to update for you guys, by the way, which is a 90-day engagement sequence, email engagement sequence that you'll be able to copy, paste, and plug and play. Okay. Then you call your clients once a week. You educate them on the platform and in the back office how to use it, and how to answer the phone, or whether it's the front desk or if it's the owner answering the phone, whoever it is answering the phone. You educate them on how best to answer those phones and do those deals. And you have ongoing communication with that client. Your retention rates go north of 75%. I've seen 80, 90% retention. I've seen 95% retention. No shit. So it goes way up, is my point.
Okay.
Strictly off of engagement.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, because
Yeah.
if you don't engage, they're going to think that you don't care. So
Even if you, yeah, and that's the thing. Even if you have qualified phone calls and you're delivering them, it means 25 to 30% of as much to them as having that and engaging them, because of exactly what you just said, Michael. That's exactly right. That's why I say go above and beyond. It's about that long term. It's about that relationship. That's why in the script, the sales script, it's not just something we say. It's something you really need to believe in and then say, which is, I'm looking for the clients for the next 20 to 30 years, right? That should not just be something you say. It's something you actually mean. And people are going to know the difference on the phone or in person. Doesn't matter. They're going to know if you mean that or not. And yeah, it's super valuable. Thanks for bringing that up.
all right. Well, I don't have any more questions, so I just appreciate your time and
Hey man,
answering those
same
few
here.
that I have.
Same here. It's good to have you on, and let's talk again. I mean, when
Okay,
you need it.
will do.
Okay. I mean, when you need it. No pressure. I'm just saying, whenever you need the help. But obviously, people ask me, not all the time, but pretty frequently, what do the absolute stars that you've trained, like, over the years, what is it they all have in common? Or what is it that helped them win? And I'll tell you something. There's only a few things. The three rules to success, the simple rules to success, right? Those are obvious. All right, you gotta follow the training, be consistent at it, reach out to support when you need the help, right? Those are pretty basic. But beyond that, I've seen that the most successful people at this stuff tend to expect to reach points of failure. Like, they don't let it get them down. They don't let it bog them down, because they also know and trust. I think some of it comes down to the trust factor. So, like, trusting that I'm going to be there to, on coaching calls, for example, to help you guys out with the problems that you're having, or whether you're having any problems at all. But like what Brandon did. Brandon went and set up a campaign, started it up, and was running it. And yeah, he paused it, but he did run it for a little bit in order to get the information and the feedback that he needed, and got to see an entire overview and write it all down of the process that I use every time I evaluate a campaign, for call only specifically. But he's got that process now, and everybody does if you go back and watch this recording and write it down like he did. There's a lot of value in that. A lot of value in that. For him specifically, because now he's going to take that and fail forward on the next, maybe not fail on the next like 5 steps, maybe he fails on step 6. But wherever that is, that's 6 steps further than where he was from today. And he wouldn't have gotten where he was today had he not already done that exact same thing. So a lot of people think it's going to be this smooth plane ride. And I'm not saying it's going to be the most turbulent flight ever, but I don't think I've ever been on a plane that did not have some kind of turbulence. Light, very light. The plane shakes in the air. I don't know. It's just something about it. There are times where the plane is more turbulent, or goes through more turbulence, but there's times where it's smooth and you don't feel anything. It almost feels like you're weightless. but not really, right? And then there's times where you feel a light shudder or turbulence, and if you need proof of that, look at your little drink down on the drink tray in front of you when you're flying in an airplane. That it'll tell you everything you need to know about what's going on with you flying in the air, and that's a good analogy for the business in terms of feeling. Right? It's not always turbulence is not a good feeling, even though you know it's not really that you're not really in danger. It does not feel good to know that you're traveling 500-600 miles an hour in this big ass metal tube with a couple of wings slapped on it and a shit ton of flammable fuel, right, at 30,000-40,000 feet. It does not really feel that comforting to know all that, and to know that you're not even in breathable atmosphere. You know what I mean? You're in a pressurized tube, actually, and everything starts shaking violently, and you even feel maybe even a drop, because the plane dropped 100 feet because of the differences in temperature and pressure. Like, that shit freaks anybody out. Even the most seasoned pilot is going to have a pucker factor a little bit. Guarantee you they're going to have a little bit of a pucker factor on that. And that's to be expected. Is it always like that, though? No. Will you have moments like that? Absolutely. This is a business just like any other in that respect. The good news is you've got a pilot sitting next to you that has been there, done that, and can talk you through that and walk you through that so that you're not alone. At least you've got somebody who's been there, done that, and been through it. And there's something to be said about that I find immense value in. And anyway, yeah, just wanted to share that because I feel like that in and of itself is valuable, and I'll always be here. I think that's important for you guys to know that. Short of me getting hit by a bus or struck by lightning or some shit, I will be here, and I always teach you to be able to run the business as if I weren't here. I think that's even more important because I don't want you dependent on me. I don't mind building a relationship with you, teaching you the business, but I want you to learn the business to the point where you actually don't need me to continue. And any training that I give you, you're going to be able to, at that point, run with it and build out what you need to build out, even if I weren't here. All right? I'm not expecting to go anywhere, but expectations and what actually happens, those are two different things in life. And you never know. So I always teach that way, as if it were my last day. And I feel like these sessions with me are going to be continue to be valuable to you, and also the additional value, the added value of the sessions with support. I feel like that's going to make a big difference too. So, all right, Mike, did you have anything else?
No, I didn't have anything else. I was good. Thank you.
Okay, cool, man. Well, thanks again for coming on. I think that's let's do a last call. I mean, we've been on for a couple hours. I'm not trying to waste any time here. Fire. Hey, there's Adrian. What's going on, dude? I didn't see that comment. Sorry about that. I wasn't looking at the comments. Hope you and all Ring Adams members are doing great. Yes, we are. Thanks for the comment. Excellent live stream. That's all Brandon and Michael's fault. That's all their fault. I blame them. But yeah, it was a great session, as always. All right, cool. Let's make a last call. If you have questions, feel free to ask away in the comments. I'm here for you. That's what it's all about. And or come onto the live stream if you need to. The Zoom link's at the top, pinned at the top in the comments section. Should be able to come in and ask whatever it is that you need to ask. Get those answers. If you need to be put back on track, I'm here for that too. All right, I'm here for that too. That's a different conversation, but I'm here for that too. All right, that's more of like a coach conversation. But
Hey, William.
Yes, Brandon.
Really
yes.
quick question. I meant to ask and I had forgot. When I start optimizing, how often do I was it 20% on not the winning ad groups, because I know you leave that alone,
Right.
but as far as the bids, you do 20% like every day or every week?
I do. Well, there's two schedules. There's a standard schedule and an accelerated schedule in terms of bidding. I don't do odd bid numbers or anything like that. I'd usually do even dollar amounts. So you started at $4. So for your example, it would be on the standard bid schedule every 1 to 2 weeks. Now that you have what we call traffic. Traffic is known as impressions, clicks, and calls, all three. Once you start seeing in your campaign impressions, clicks, and calls, you now have what we call traffic. Okay. With traffic, every 1 to 2 weeks you would bump the bid $1 to $2. Okay. Every
Yes,
one to
sir.
2 weeks you bump every $1 to $2. Now on the accelerated schedule, once you have traffic, you still bump every 1 to 2 days, no matter what, until you see traffic. That's a standard, right? Whether you're going standard standard rate of bidding or accelerated, you have to go every 1 to 2 days. Every 1 to 2 days, $1 or $2 until you hit traffic. When you hit traffic on the campaign level, that's when you shift over to either the standard or accelerated bidding levels, and you go standard every 1 to 2 weeks, $1 to $2, and optimize accordingly every 2-3 days. Or the accelerated, which is you optimize every day and you bump every day. You bump $1 every day. I wouldn't do $2 a day. I'd do $1 every day. So
Okay.
for your example, for $4, now that you're at the stage where you have seen traffic, because you have impressions, you have clicks, and you have calls for the campaign. Not qualified calls, just calls,
Yes.
right? You're at that level now. So what I would do is decide, am I going to go standard or am I going to go accelerated? I would probably, since it's a lower cost per call, it's not like you're in a vertical like HVAC or water damage or something that's going to have like a higher cost per qualified call. I would actually go with not an accelerated. Your fruit tree is got a smaller trunk. You don't have to go all the way up the trunk to $15-16 to start driving good qualified calls like water damage, for example. That's got a longer trunk. Your trunk, you can drive qualified calls at $3-4. That's a very small trunk. The tree is almost like a fruit tree that's almost like a bush, right, with a little bitty trunk at the bottom. So I would do every 1 to 2 weeks, $1 to $2 for you.
Okay.
But that's specific to you, and that's on a standard schedule. But now you're on that standard schedule because you have that traffic, and that's
Once
how
those
that
calls
all.
start coming in, then obviously that's where you'll stop those specific keywords and ad groups. As far as the, bumping it up and up and up, as far as the bid goes.
No, you stop the bumps when it's no longer profitable, right? You continue to optimize the campaign. So, for
Okay.
example, you're going to have some keywords that are below first page bid, but they're driving conversions, right? And when you move
Right.
them, when they're driving conversions, in other words, it's a winning keyword, you move it over to its own ad group, and it's at $5, for example. You leave the bid at $5. You leave it be.
Yeah.
That's where you leave it at. You leave the fruit catcher at that level of catching fruit, and then as you bump up all the other keywords that are not winning keywords to the next level, right?
Yep.
That's when you catch the next level of fruit. Okay. And
Okay.
you're only bumping not the ones that are eligible. You're only bumping the ones that are below first page bid, right? That's why we call it the below first page bid strategy. So anything that's listed as eligible, anything that's converted, stays where it's at.
Okay. So anything that's not eligible, bump those.
It's not going to be listed as not eligible. It's going to be listed as below first page bid.
Below, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I meant.
Below first page bid. Yeah. Anything that's low search volume is what?
Well, search farm
Deleted immediately.
isn't relevant. Yeah, isn't relevant.
Deleted immediately. There's a difference between
Okay.
irrelevant and deleted immediately. Irrelevant means you might leave it in the campaign. You delete it immediately.
Okay.
Treat it like a rat in the house, dude. Get rid of it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, get rid of that fucker now. You know that's how I
Okay.
would look at a rat.
Okay.
Might not have even done anything to me, but if there's a rat in my house, he's out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Low search volume is going to affect the performance of the campaign long term. That's more of a long term thing, but you don't want to leave it in there because the longer you leave those in there, and they'll pop up from time to time. So it's something that you want to check every time you optimize, but don't expect to see them all the time. I mean, do an initial clean out, and you'll see one pop up every now and again, right? Especially when you
Okay.
do converting keywords. You might see that phrase in exact. You might see that phrase has search volume, right? No problem. But that exact is too exact, it's too specific, and it has low search volume. Delete it out immediately, even though it's in the winning keyword. So remember how I told you 3 versions, 4 versions inside of a winning
Yep.
keyword? You could end up with just the broad. It's possible.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's
And all those
possible.
would have ended up falling off.
Because if they're
Needed
low
to be
search volume,
deleted.
they fall off. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So
Wow.
that
Okay.
is something that's like a trump rule. That's something that trumps all the other rules. Like you go in, you do all this work, right? And then as you look at the keywords, it's going to tell you on status if it's eligible, below first page bid, whatever it is. And if it says low search volume, you delete it no matter what, and
Okay.
that'll leave you with whatever should be in that ad group. Okay.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
All right. Write
Cool,
all that
man.
down. Okay. Sweet, man.
All
That
right.
was it.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. You're welcome, bud. Very good call today. I'm very very pleased with your
Oh,
results.
yeah.
You keep trucking along, dude. You're gonna do just fine. There's no doubt in my mind.
All right, man. I'm trying.
All right.
All right, buddy. I'll
Talk
see
to you
man.
soon.
Yep. Bye bye.
All right. So I think that's. I'm not seeing anything in the comments. I don't see anybody else in the room, in the Zoom room. No big deal. Just want to throw that out there that my door is always open. I'm here to help. And great call today. Appreciate you, all of you. Brandon, thanks for coming on. Michael, thanks for coming on. Those of you who are tuning in, not really engaging, that's okay. I appreciate you coming. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you watching this recording if you're watching it. All I ask is that you work in the business, and I'll be here for you whenever you need the help. That's all I ask is that you show up, get the help you need, and keep pushing, because I guarantee you're going to see results from it. So, yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next coaching call we're going to do on what is that, August the 14th, which should be, I think it ends up on a Friday. So we'll be on Fridays for the month of August, and yeah, I'll see you guys there with bells on. Keep working hard in your business. Keep engaging with us in the group via posts, via coaching calls like this, and just know that we're here for you. All right. All right. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.